Um, yeah. So I have with myself Vastia and Rushell, and Maya is listening in, so she's gonna have her questions for y'all later. Um, so okay, so Vastia at it was Essence.
Essence. It
Yeah,
was definitely Essence.
yeah. It was a day before my birthday. I met you, and I was just like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty!" Like, I'm like, she had all this hair. I'm here like, "Oh, okay," and then it was just like we just kept in contact. Rochelle, I she booked me to do her hair, and then I found out she's also a hairstylist, which is funny. Like she's faux locks queen. So faux locks, dotted locks, like yeah, she specializes in that, and she also does a traveling company where she like uh schedules, your trips and stuff, and you be in Africa and all that. So and okay, so back to Vastia. Vastia has all these pearls, and it's all hers. Like,
Y'all could have it.
like,
Wow.
so I was like, I need to get you and Rochelle and Julia, because Julia, she used to do makeup for, I believe it was All My Children, Law and Order, and Shonda Rhimes. She does a lot of like the television makeup and things like that. But she's like queen of the beat with like contouring and all that. So I was like, beauty extended. Let's talk about this. So I have a few questions. I'm gonna go with let's go with Vastia first.
Okay.
Okay. So Vastia, with your okay, I'm when Julia comes in, I'm gonna say how funny it is that I chose y'all. It was spirit led. I'm telling you now before anything, so y'all know.
Listen,
So okay, I'm gonna say it's birthdays. This is how we all got for this. So I met Vastia the day before my birthday. Vastia's birthday was March 23rd, right?
yes.
Okay, so Beauty King Rochelle, her birthday is March 11th,
Whoop whoop.
right?
Yes.
Julia's birthday is March 11th.
Whose birthday is March 11th?
Julia, and
Oh,
my
wow.
mother's birthday is March 11th. So
And my
all,
best friend's birthday is March 11th.
so all of the people who are we're connected in birthdays, but all three of y'all are March babies. Yeah, so
Hey.
I was just like, I like to connect like the dots, like, so that is the funniest thing ever. So y'all March babies. So when Julia comes in, you'll know that's your birthday twin. But okay, so when it comes to your curls, like what did you do today as far as preparation?
So I normally, how would I say? All right. So I go through different motions of what I use. Sometimes I use something that's moisturizing. Sometimes I use things that are protein based. Or on certain days, I'll use like, if I feel like my hair is gummy, but I need to keep to my schedule as far as like keeping protein in my hair, I'll do a protein treatment, but I'll make sure that my styling agents and everything else like that is more moisture based and vice versa. So like to keep my hair like curly, I have been using Olaplex number 3, which is a treatment for bonding. And then, of course, everybody's cult favorite, G 2-step protein treatment. Like, this bad boy has been in rotation in my regime for like, how would I say, like probably like 4 or 5 years now, and every time I use it I love it. But you want to try new things, so I tried out the Olaplex, and this bad boy had my hair looking like uh can I curse on this or no? No cursing? Okay. So
I don't
this
know. I mean, if it's just a little bit.
Nope, I'm gonna keep it PG. um So this had my curls lit. When I say popping, I mean like literally I washed my hair and lately the ends would be a little straight. No, the whole thing was coiled, even though I didn't moisturize my hair for like 2 weeks after. I still had all of my curls. So I was just like, oh, I like you. I like you a lot.
Wait, what is it? I'm sorry. I missed what
The Olaplex number 3. You know, they have their treatment series where it's like Olaplex 1, 2, which is like washing and conditioning, and then they have a third one which is to help with the bonds in the hair, and then they also have like 2 other treatments that I haven't tried out, but this one is supposed to like repair the strength within your curls and your coils.
Is that like
okay,
a
are we
serum?
gonna recap or should I be taking notes?
Oh no, I'm gonna send out the recap. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. Don't worry about it. This is
Okay.
being recorded.
Olaplex. And the point of that is if you're wearing your hair curly or just period.
So basically, you know how like your hair needs keratin and it needs basically different parts to keep the bonds in. That's basically what it does. It just puts more keratin back into your hair, the one that your hair actually needs.
And protein, right?
And protein.
Right. That's the major part, protein.
Okay.
And then also just making sure that you also deep condition with something that's very moisturizing. Not because of this, but more so because you want to have that balance, because too much of protein, your hair going to start feeling like straw, and too much of moisture, your hair going to start feeling like gummy worms. So to have the best of both worlds, I've always found rotation between a protein treatment, an intense protein treatment. If I'm going to do an intense one, then I'll wait like 6 weeks to 2 months, and then I'll do another protein treatment. But in between those times, I use moisturizing treatments.
Do you mind spelling out the capsule for the people that can't see this?
Oh yeah, definitely. Olaplex number 3, which is hair perfector, repairs and strengthens all hair types. And then the second one, which is APHOGEE 2-step protein treatment, APHOGEE. The first one is the protein treatment, and then the second part is the balance and moisturizer.
All right. Okay. So when it comes to first of all, with all that hair, I know some people don't have but when it comes to shampooing, okay, like what do you do for steps? Because I know sometimes when I used to like wash kids' hair at the salon and stuff like that, that the middle part is like it stays dry. Like you really have to go in and get to the roots and to the middle and get it wet. Like
so, the way I normally prep my hair before I start washing is I use a lot of oils. I use oils for pretty much everything. I use avocado oil, or I use extra virgin olive oil because it's cheaper, or grapeseed oil because it's lighter, but it's more moisturizing. And then I use that, and I like pre-poo, I guess. I pre-poo before I actually go in with the shampoo. So I normally detangle my hair with this dollar brush. I got this from Dollar Tree. It's like a tangle teaser. This bad boy, even on my daughter's hair who has 4C hair, even on my friend's hair who have they claim they have 4Z, but I'm able to glide through that bad boy. Even it's $1. Literally went into Dollar Tree, got it for $1. I have had the same one for 2 years now, and my daughter uses it and I use it. And I take this and I start from the ends and then work my way going up, and then it gets detangled that way. But if I know that I've let it mat for too long, then I'll put something like a conditioner with the oil. So I'll use the VO5. I normally use either the passion fruit smoothie because it doesn't have silicones in it, or I use anything that it has a lot of slip, to add to the oil, but it's still conditioning, so that way when I'm raking through my hair, I'm not breaking my hair at the same time. So I always tell people, don't start off like, okay, let me just throw shampoo on top of matted hair, because that defeats the purpose. That's going to dry out the hair that you want to like loosen up so that you can glide through it. So that's what I do. And I do it on my daughter's hair, and my hair, my mom's hair, pretty much everybody's hair.
Okay. All right. So, is there any secrets to keeping length or growing, that you use?
The only secret that I could think of is, again, like rotating between the protein and the moisturizing treatments. I would also say leave your hair the heck alone. A lot of people, yes, you want to have different styles, but find a style that you can keep for longer than, a day or two, so that way you're not constantly putting your hands in your hair, because that dries out your hair also. Because if your hands are dry and you put your hands inside your hair, that moisture goes into your hands, because that's pretty much how moisture tends to work. I also tell people to use, I like kapusu butter or kapusao butter. It's a Amazonian fruit. It's basically like shea butter, but it's lighter, and it has more moisture, but it's more expensive because of how rare it is. But that mixed with some pomegranate oil, avocado oil, and if you're allergic to nuts, you could do the kapusu butter as opposed to the shea butter, because it's a fruit and it's not a nut. So for my people that have allergies, and focus on your ends, pretty much. Again, leave your hair alone, especially cut that bad boy. If you don't want your hair to just basically shred to pieces, please get a trim. Trims, hair grows, it's hair. It may not look like it's growing, but sometimes your hair, just shrinkage is a liar. It may look like your hair is not growing, but it actually is. And if it's not, then you have to kind of sort of listen to your hair. So if your hair is saying, hey, I'm too dry, add moisture to it. Actually deep condition your hair, nurture it. If your hair is saying, hey, over in this area, I'm, like on the front part of your hair, I'm like dry, but in the back, I'm very moisturized, then you just need to combat the dryness in that area, which people forget that there's different textures in all areas of your head. You're not just one texture. That's kind of sort of what makes up your hair, is having different textures, having like the 4 A's to the 4 C's to the 3 A's to the 3 B's, however you want to categorize it. Different parts of your hair is going to be different, so you have to treat certain sections a little bit better than others. Because I know that some people get angry because like the middle of their hair stays moisturized, but the edges be nice and dry. So you got to give a little bit more TLC to certain places than you do others. And again, leave your hair alone. You can do styles, you can still have fun with it, but understand that when you're piling on all of that hairspray, when you're piling on a whole bunch of gel and you don't wash your hair or clarify your hair after you apply the gel, that defeats the purpose, because you're clogging up the follicles on your scalp. So yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so those were gems, and definitely I agree 100%. And two, I actually learned a little bit more. So with curls, so that's what's up. But I'm gonna move on to Rushell. Now, Rushell, when I was doing your hair, you said you have a movable part.
Yes.
So start with that.
Okay, so what I mean about that, and a lot of people have this, is everyone's scalp is not necessarily stationary, if I can say. It's skin. You have to understand that. And skin moves. Some people's skin moves more than others. In my case, my skin actually on the top of my head moves more than, I guess, a normal typical person. So you have to be very accurate, because when I think I'm making a part here, and if I move my hair, like if I put my hair in one, or put my hair like, if I put my hair in two little pigtails, right? And I'm making a part in my hair. If I'm pulling this pigtail this way, my part will move over just because my scalp is moving over a little bit. Do you guys quite understand?
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah, right. So everyone's part is not stationary. That's what I should say. Sometimes, your hair just moves, and you just have to be a little accurate. Sometimes what I do, I will like part my hair in two and like hold it like this, and then I'll like whoop, and then I'll know exactly where it is. But yeah, sometimes it moves, it moves a little back and forth.
Because I was like, wait, hold up, wait a minute. I know I parted that. So people at home, like, if you are trying to part your hair and you're like, I just can't get that middle.
No.
Just tug on both sides equally, and then just use the tail comb straight, and that should give you like the most accurate part. Okay, now when it comes to faux locks, is there a specific brand that you use? Or do you, like, what do you do when it comes to?
First, can you guys see me clearly or good? This is my first time, guys. I'm like, what is this about? I know, just asking, okay? Because I'm seeing the green thing, and I'm like, I don't got no green thing on me, but I'm okay, whatever. It's working out, okay? It's working out.
No. The green is when I'm talking. So whoever's talking, they'll get the green line around them.
I have the green line around me?
You have the green line on you.
Okay, sorry. All right, we'll go back. Okay, so the regular faux locks, the industry use a lot of things. I think out of all the ones, there's two that I prefer. One is really hard to get. It's called Vanessa. That's like almost non-existent to get it. And the other one is Janet Brand. Everybody know Janet Brand. Everybody can get it. It's in every beauty supply store. I like that for regular faux locks. Now, if you want to go up a little bit and get something that's a little bit more, I guess, realistic and not so hard, because sometimes Janet Brand or Marley hair, not even Janet, Marley hair can be a little tough or, not so, I don't know, soft looking. You could get like a kinky, it's called a kinky bulk-ish kind of hair. Any brand would have more like a kinky bulk, and that has a little bit more bounce to it. It looks like your natural hair. Like sometimes, you get those clip-ins, those natural clip-ins a lot of people started using. It looks really bouncy and like full like your natural hair without looking like too tangly. That's how a kinky bulk will look, and that I prefer that for most of my locks, because it gives it a little bit more nice texture. It's not so shiny, it looks more realistic. So that's a good tip I would tell people if they're between Marley hair and kinky bulk. My preference is kinky bulk.
Okay, yeah. So clients that, like, of course, you can't get to clients right now. A lot of people have gotten their hair done a week ago, a month ago, and they're like, what? I can't get to my stylist.
It's been hard, yeah.
How would you suggest them to retouch if they need to, or like, not so much do certain styles that you suggest that won't really, I guess, wear it out?
Yeah. So that same kinky bulk that you have, that same Marley hair that you have, you could do so much with it. You could put your hair in a bun and use the Marley hair to like twist around it, and you got yourself a cool little kinky bun. You could do that for the two, afros. You could take it and actually braid it within your hair and give yourself two like nice ponytails, but with a nice little kinky feel to it. You could do that. Just play with the hair as much as you can. You can give yourself, how we used to do the goddess braids, like the ones that look like a crown, like we used to braid it around. Sometimes I would part my hair in two and then take a little bit of that kinky hair and like give myself a little goddess braid on each side and then put it in the back. And that's like a simple, nice style that you can look cute in your living room. You know what I'm saying?
Quick question. Sorry to interject. I have a quick question for you. Have you thought about possibly for your clientels, actually doing a kind of sort of like a Zoom, what we're doing now, and actually providing a service of you showing them how to retwist certain locks? Because even though you're teaching them, they're still going to want to come back to you for them to get their hair done.
Right, because nobody doing it.
I actually just put up yesterday 2 videos on my website about twisting. I have a 1 minute and like 30-second video, and I have a 30-second video of the twisting. It's a little fast. I think somebody said I need to do it again, so I'm gonna do it one more time.
Because what I'm thinking of is, especially during the fact that, like, I know that everybody's getting a hit right now financially, you can still charge for that service. So you can say, hey, if you would like for me to slow it down, I actually offer a 1-to-1 service and charge them for a specific fee. Don't mind me. I think
no, that's amazing.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Or even a group class, so it's even cheaper. Like maybe they log in and they pay you $20, rather one-on-one might be $50. You know what I mean? But it's like you make a little dough, they get to hook it up. Because I mean,
exactly.
if they are working from home, then definitely I have a Zoom call all the time, and I need to try to put it together at least on top.
Right.
And then if they don't have a job that works from home, they're interacting, I would think, socially at least.
Right.
So they probably want to, or they got to go out to the grocery store, do something. So it's a great idea. It's a great idea. I mean, also for you, Karen. I mean,
Karen has
the same thing
like that.
Yeah, I have a class. So every 2 weeks, because I feel like I'd be doing so much that I'd be like, you know what? Let me take that down a little bit because it's a lot. But yeah, so I take like on my website, there's like a little thing where they can just book either a group class or the one-on-one. The one-on-one is going to be more expensive because it's just me directing. But the group is like, look, I'm doing this. I'm going to teach a specific, like a specific class, or like if it's just a knot list or a cornrow, like just so it's more focused.
Right.
And then they can ask the questions right to me instead of it being on YouTube. Because YouTube, everybody has that, but sometimes you don't know what fingers to use. You don't know if you're doing it right. Some people use these fingers. Wait, I'm not putting up my middle finger.
I know.
They use their middle finger to braid. And I had to reteach people to exactly. So they're always getting loose braids and not understanding why it's loose. I'm like, you can't really work a braid with these fingers.
Middle
you have
finger.
to use these. So you have to use the pointers. So I was just like, I have to do that, which is better than a YouTube, because some people really have to be talked through it and watch. You know what I'm saying? So
I could braid. Well, no, let's start over. I can't like braid hair like you can braid hair, but I could like, do a couple French braids on someone. For me, I can't seem to get that together. Maybe because maybe if I weren't looking in the mirror, but looking in the mirror, I can't seem to pull that together. So I don't know what you call it, crown braids or something.
Yeah, the crown one. Yeah.
Right. I hadn't heard it called that, but that's smart. So if I do that, I have to do like a little twist, or I have to have my mommy do it. Like, I'm like, can you just braid me right here? Like, I cannot get that together. So I'm sure that people do all kinds of crazy stuff because you just are like trying on your own head. It's tough.
So the trick with the crown braid is if you braid down from here and down here, and then take those long braids and wrap it, it'll go around. So if it's on yourself, it's going to be hard because you can't really bring your arm around. So if you do it like Rushell was saying earlier, braid it from down here and then pin it, you can also bring those braids back around so it covers.
But
So,
that's if you have the length. Now, if you don't have
right.
the length,
If
you're
you
gonna have to have hair for that.
if you have like the Molly hair or any type of extensions, you can
Yeah.
add to the base of it. So you can feed that in. So knotless would be a great class because it teaches you how to do knotless, feed in, the stitch braid. All of that is basically feeding in hair. But yeah, so those classes are offered. We have to transition. Like putting together Beauty Extended was my thought of seeing so many beauticians and the beauty industry displaced, right? There's nothing we can do right now. And then there's the clients and people who solely rely on the beauty industry and now they can't. So it's like I wanted to create a information event where people can get that information without, some people don't know who to talk to and some people aren't given that information. So it's kind of like when we're all like going through our problems right now, and life is hitting us in different ways right now.
Oh yeah.
We're not thinking about others. Like we're just like, oh my God. But when you end up doing something like this and just talking, it's refreshing because then you get ideas on how to um, generate some income. Like Vastia spoke with Rushell, just suggesting just that little
And
thing.
thank you guys. I'm gonna really do it too. Thanks.
Yeah, and I also did to help me bring in income right now. I did, after this is going to be a long list of people trying to book, right? So it's going to be this rush, right? So I created like a deal for 150 for knotless braids after so it's like pre-booking quarantine deal. So after quarantine is lifted, these people will end up being able to have their appointment. They'll be the first people to set a date. And so they have to pre-book, so they pay, so that way I get income for right now, but they have the opportunity of something that is cheaper than my usual rate, and they have first dibs. So it's like give and take and knowing where just reading the crowd right now. Like,
Is this like a deposit they're doing, or they're paying for the whole thing right
they're
now?
paying the whole thing, but it's 150. So they're paying the whole 150, which is way less than what I normally charge. So they're like most of the people who are booking it is clients that already know my thing. So they're like, what? And they're just booking. So then it's like it's a win-win situation. And it's like me giving back because
Right. I have, well, talking about giving back. I started a whole new business, just doing this 2 weeks in a whole new industry. But one
I'm sorry,
thing,
really quickly, may I ask where everyone is? I don't know where you are. You said during 2 weeks. Have you been quarantined for 2 weeks?
well, more than that, but in the last 2 weeks, I started a new company. But I'm from New York.
Okay. Are you guys all East Coast?
Yes,
yes, again.
Okay, just curious.
Yes.
The only other person will be Julia when she calls in.
Okay.
She'll
I just
be on the
invited
side.
someone, so we'll see if she pops on.
Okay.
My thing is that back to the business part, to the beauty part about it, I was just trying to find different things to do, and somebody was telling me like at this quarantine it's gonna be hard. People that I have this thing called my $1,000 clients, and it's because they end up spending close to that amount to get their hair done, and I'm just thinking like, is that even feasible right now to really yes, I know I want my money too, but I have to think is that okay to have for the working person, regular average person to invest that much? And I think that as people in the beauty industry, we need to be very cautious of that and have a lot of I guess ethics, just to understand that, if your stuff is costing 1,000 plus, sweetheart, you might have to put that down just a tad, because you have to go with the wave of how the industry and how things are fluctuating, you know? You can leave it at 1,000 if you want.
But it probably just be one person or none. You know?
So I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that.
Oh, me too. Go for it.
Ultimately, if I'm paying you, or if I decide that I want to pay you for a service of this level, I know my finances, right? I know how much money I got. I know how much money I'm able to spend. I know that, or better yet, I know that I'm choosing you over paying rent because of who I am as a person. Those are my own priorities amongst myself. That's 1. 2, now, the thing is that if you have it where you can ask them to share, like, hey, you know, these are my prices, but I'm currently, not indefinitely, currently able to assist if you are affected or if your life has been impacted by COVID-19. That's different, because ultimately you still need to be able to make a profit. You still need to think about your own overhead. You still need to think about all of these things. The same way that you're thinking about it for others, you have to think about that for yourself as well. You can't take on somebody else's bills. You're at the moment, you need to allocate your own bills, find out what your bills are, how much you're spending, if this would be helpful to someone, because people are willing to pay. There are people out there who they can just get on Canva, do it for free, but they rather pay somebody thousands of dollars to do it. You can't dictate somebody else's pockets. You're thinking of a place of you yourself and where you are or you were at a time. And it takes away from your client's possibility. And then you also end up blocking your own blessings, because you can still help other people without having to compromise your own pockets. There's always ways. So if you would like, and if it would make you feel better, I would suggest, hey, you know, this is how much I normally charge, but at the moment, these are my current rates for people that are currently impacted who aren't able to work during this time. This way you don't shoot yourself in the foot at the same time.
How do you regulate that? Like, how do you know? I'm sure, you know, even my client that is my $1,000 clients that can do 1,000, 1,100, they might say, well, girl, I mean, okay, you doing that deal, I'm going to apply.
Yeah,
but that's why you ask. That's why you ask. That's how you.
I would challenge that a little bit. Couple things. So there's been a lot of these going on, right? And so there was one on business, and I found that this is what I know. A man would not question that, right? He would not all of a sudden lower his prices and all of that. He's usually inflating his value, right? And feels okay with it at any time. At any time. A white woman wouldn't do it either.
At all.
And I'm not saying that you are wrong to think that way. What I'm offering is that maybe you offer a different tier, right? So for, I don't know, the rest of the year, this is what I do typically. And I offer this tier for people who maybe can't reach that right now. And that's fine. But don't make this one cheaper.
Okay.
You'll never get it again, and you still deserve it, right? So then now people have an option. If they can't ball out and get this one, that's okay. They could get the one that they can afford. Right. And then maybe that one phases out going into next year or whatever. But we have to, I think, as a culture, edit how we do business. And I assure you, everybody's not thinking about it that way, period. When the store's open, when it's time for your mani-pedi and wax wherever you go, they're going to charge you what they charged you last time, I promise. They're not going to be like, you know what, I know you went through some things. So this week it's going to be 2 for $5. No, they will not do that. They're going to get your paper, or you will polish your own toes. You know what I mean? And so you shouldn't devalue yourself either. I think that's fair.
Those are so great.
Karen, what do you think about that?
No, I'm thinking good, because in business it is supply and demand. You know, sometimes when it is like you're just one person and you're going to have this fluctuation of all these new clients that are like, you know, right now the people who are in people's face right now. People are talking about like this person actually care. This one is still out there, still being seen, still getting the information to me. Those people are going to be the ones to end up getting more clients, right? Like people be like, oh my God, I actually really like this person. I ain't never know this. And now they're like, how can I book? How can I book? Like people are still like, how can I book?
Somebody done sent me all her money this morning, child. And was like, well, I'm just sending all my money now because you ain't canceling me. And I was like, child.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. Like also to Vastia, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Also to your point, like your bills still have to be paid, right?
Yeah,
so maybe you're only gonna have 10 people and not 15 people right now. That's okay. But I mean, it's like those 10 that you do get, you can't then say, okay, it's half off. Like, how do you then pay your overhead? So, I mean, I'm not at all trying to say be a shrewd business person. I think that also as a culture that we often have a faith base and, you know, we consider things like that. And I'm not saying that should be different. Also, consider the other part of it too, right? Because especially the American way, there are, you know, all of our counterparts, when people consider, you know, the salary and like how much we make, and you know, Black people make so and so less, and women make so and so less, and Asians make so and so more, and blah 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 blah. And not a lot of that is how we value ourselves and what we demand going in, and it has very little to do with the company. The company wants to get the most for the least. They're not wrong for that. But if we always are like, well, I don't want to, you know, and I don't, da 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 da. And I think my girlfriend just joined who actually was like about negotiating. And she was like, did you ask for more? Well, I think you need to give more. Well,
I'm that
you
friend.
have to ask for it, blah, blah. And I was like, ooh, feeling shy, right? But you get more. It's like, all they could say is no. They still want you. So
it's our compassion.
Consider that.
Yeah, because
we're not taught that. We're not taught that. So you have to try to like edit your mind.
Yeah, I'm the friend that tells people, hey, negotiate. I don't accept certain things. Literally, if you give me your first offer, that's cute. This is what this is what I bring to the table. This is who I am.
But you need someone to gas you up though, because it's not our default. It's not our default. So you gotta have a hype man. Like, no, girl, at least you gotta ask. At least
mind you, because I had a friend, you know, she worked well, all right, so I manage myself. I'm my own agent. I do a lot of like media stuff and a whole bunch of other things, right? I've been doing hair modeling since like 2013. You know, the list is long, right? Now, I always negotiated my price. And like companies will be like, oh, you know, we would like for you, because you don't have this particular following, can you do it for X amount of dollars? No. I'm not doing it for exposure, and I'm not doing it for $100. You're going to pay me this price, this price, this price. These are my current rates. This is what we will do. These are my non-negotiables. And either you book me or you don't book me. Either way you flip it, the person that does book me know the type of quality that they're going to get. They know what they're going to get from me, and they know that I'm worth that amount, because I know I'm worth that amount. Now, if you sit there and I always were to accept what's given to me, I would be living off of exposure right now on somebody's corner, okay? I would not have enough money to do anything, because everybody wants to do it for the cheapest. So they look for people that are going to do it for the cheapest. Now, when it comes to negotiations, always do your research. You need to, especially as Black women, do your research. Look at how your degrees and all of the work that you've ever done, how that lines up with the position, and leverage that. You need to sit there and be your own spokesperson. You have to be your own agent, your own advocate, because ultimately it's you trying to get your money, because you still have to live just like everybody else. And it's not fair to you as a person to be walking around thinking about like, oh, you know, I want to make sure that everybody else is okay, but I'm not okay. And I get it. We're always taught to be selfless, but in those situations, you need to be selfish, because that's the only way you'll be able to help others that come behind you, that come to the side of you, and that need assistance going forward. That was my last 2 cents. I'm sorry.
Amen. Amen. Was that a word? Was that a word?
We got off the beauty. I'm sorry. I couldn't let that pass. Though I was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's how I've been. I've always been like that, where like growing up, my mom had 6 kids. So it was all like share, always look out for other people. So it was, that's me. And
that's
I noticed,
though. You can decide, right? You could still have value in your business and all of that. And then you could decide that I'm going to buy groceries for these 3 families, but that's what you decided, right? Like, I'm not saying that you should not be a giver. You absolutely should, especially I know that you have a faith base, like that's required of us, right? But you decide. It is your paper. You decide how you spend it, who you want to bless, and all it, like let God lead you. But you can't just decide I'm not worth it, or I know you had a tough time. Everybody's not having a tough time. A great percentage of people are just at home working, making their full money. A lot of companies gave bonuses like, hey, get you through this period, make you happy. Like, everyone is not. The service industries are really suffering. Everyone is not. People in healthcare are killing right now. They are in top demands. Like, it's not, I mean, I don't know. And I don't know, maybe if you're in transit, there's a lot of service industries are suffering. Not everyone. It's not 2008 again. And if they are in an industry that's suffering, maybe they'll DM you, hey, mama, I don't have it right now. Can I make 2 payments? Or I want to do that lower tier. Or, you know what I mean? They'll be able to probably speak for themselves, but you can't just decide, that's my opinion.
No, I'm just loving the fact that this conversation just took a mind of its own, and it's just like,
I'm sorry.
It's like let spirit. No, it's good. It's just letting spirit lead, and it's like a conversation, not only us giving information to potential clients, but it's everybody exchanging the information. So it's beautiful, basically. It's beauty extended information for all. And I did have a publicist before, and I felt like when I got rid of a lot of people, I was able to like do what I wanted, and like everything just soared, because I was like, what am I paying people to do things for me when I'm like, I know who I am, I know who I've worked with, I know what my skills are. Like, I started making braids out of dresses. They're like, what? Like, I'm like, I'm always.
I want to DM you. I made a braid out of a dress last year, but I was under contract, so I couldn't like show you. I was like,
girl, look, shoot, mine's in a little corner. I haven't been.
What does that mean?
Literally.
Oh, you made a dress out of braids.
Yes.
She's bomb.
She makes dresses. She makes headpieces. She also has.
I have a purse now. I did a purse. Hold on.
Oh, and look at that. And she got a purse. Look at that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is so creative.
My favorite thing is ask her whenever we go to Essence events and we're together. The first thing I do, I'm like, so this is what she does.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, you don't need a publicist. You need a good girlfriend who will hype you up.
Right.
Yes, she's sitting there like
straight off, right? You do it back and forth. Like, that's easy.
It's
empowerment. My friend, I mean, she actually holds the position, like, she literally is being paid to, but that's awesome. So you go to Essence and sell this stuff?
No, just when I'm just walking around, like I'm wearing it, she's just like, hey, you know what she does? And I'm just like, but you do need those people, because
you do.
Like, some people will say they have this title, they'll do this for you, and you sitting there like, where are you? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you need that genuine heart that actually believes, right? Like, when my clients be like, you do photo, I'm like, hit up Faux Queen, Beauty King, because I'm like, She does that.
Wait
And
a
then,
minute. So so people keep their hair up a long time. Then what do you guys recommend for like the shampooing and maintenance?
Ooh.
Stuff like that?
so
Y'all want this one or can I go on this
One
one?
time, and that was recently. It was a lot. But anyway, I'm curious. It was a lot.
with braids, I wash with what do I have? I use Bubbly. It's a blue.
I know what you're talking about.
I use that to shampoo it. But it's braids, so I'm not using like amazing products on it. When I'm using my curls, it's just Shea Moisture, the hibiscus line, or the orange one. Yeah, that's the hibiscus, right?
Yeah, I think that is.
Yeah, so I'll just use that and I'll shampoo it. But with the braids, I just like shampoo the roots. That's the main thing, and then I let it like rinse off throughout the braids. But it's better in the shower because it just feels super good. And then I top it off with like just greasing my scalp with something like a peppermint oil or jojoba or tea tree, and just let that refreshing feeling come through. So
How long do you keep them up?
in 2 months, yeah, I'll leave it in 2 months. I do my own hair, so I get tired, I get bored, so I switch out. But I tell everybody 2 months at least. If you need to push it back to like 3 months. Somebody has, but I'll be like really deep conditioned. Make sure you untangle before you shampoo. Do not go to sleep because people be like, I'm just tired. I'm just gonna go to sleep. No, I'll be like, shampoo your hair at the same time you take it out, but make sure you untangle it because it will clump back together in the shampooing and then deep conditioning. So I always be like saturate it with some leave-in conditioner first, detangle so it can separate, and then
I think
Do people
go ahead.
redo
Go ahead.
their
No, you go ahead.
edges?
what was that?
Or do people redo their edges? How
Yeah.
often is that?
Just
I mean, 2
probably a
months
month in.
have lots of hair.
Well, depends on what it is. Like if you have the knotless, it looks natural, so people don't even bother with that. But within a month, you can retouch it, and it's super easy. Like just maybe the first row, or you can do 2 rows, and then I always do like the nape, like the last row in the back, because sometimes that thing be hanging down. You'd be like, and the growth pulls on your hair, so like that braid it starts to pull on the edges. So I recommend to do a touch up if you're going to keep it in for the whole 2 months or 3. Just
For faux locks is completely different though.
it's lightweight, right?
I'm sorry. For faux locks is completely different as far as like maintenance is concerned. As far because for faux locks, when you can keep faux locks in for a longer time. So I say every 5 to 6 weeks, I tell my clients to come back for a redo. And that just entails me retwisting each lock and like fixing individual locks, maybe, touching them up as I go. And as far for faux locks for washing, you get a lot of buildup around. I mean, for braids too, you get like that white buildup around. So I'll tell my clients to get them a toothbrush or something and to like individually go inside and like clean it out, or get a rag and like really get into it and get that buildup around it. It might take you a little time, but that's what you have to do. So I recommend my clients do that before they come to me, before they redo. So I'll tell them like, the day before or 2 days before, make sure that you wash your scalp, get the gunk out. So when you come to me for your redo, it'll be like nice and fresh and I'll be able to like retwist it really good for you. And I think one other thing you said, my clients keep their hair in for a long time. Like I got a client right now that it's been 2 years. That I do not recommend.
Did you say 2 years?
2 years. It's been 2 years.
No.
Yes, I'm not lying.
No.
I'm not lying.
You see how straight
And let me tell you, and I see her in Target, and I'll be like, this is not acceptable.
No.
And she can't come back to me because I have a rule. I say 3 redos and you're out. So that means you can.
Wait a minute, what?
2 years?
What's the rule?
The same one.
How do they hang in there that long?
Girl, have it or not, but she said it look cute because it's a little more natural.
She knows she got dreads, right?
You know what?
She got real dreads. It's not faux no more.
I know, but that's the thing. I think sometimes, a lot of times I have a client that kept it in for 2 years also, but the difference between this client and that client is I have maybe 2 or 3 clients that kept it in for that long. But the difference is that they every 4, 5, 6 months, they completely take it out and now reinstall again. Completely take it out and reinstall. They just I don't care. They feel like it's a part of their body, but they don't want to commit all the way for whatever reason. I'll be like, just get dressed. They're like, no, just do it every 5 months. Just redo it. I don't care, right? And that's okay, whatever. I give my clients 3 redos. So it's every 5 to 6 weeks, 3 times. After that, you have to take your hair out. That's it. And if you do not, you can't come back. I'm not going to have you back to do another redo. So it forces you to, are you going to look tore up to the floor or are you going to take it out? Well, this woman, she said she going to look tore up to the floor.
Wait, maybe I don't understand really. So
what do you understand?
How is it still attached? Why wouldn't it unravel? 2 years?
Yes, I mean it's faux locks. This is not braids. So it's a casing. So do you know how the install of a faux lock? Maybe that's why.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
So it's 2 parts. So it's you attach fake hair to the hair. So it can kind of be like a braid at first, like how Karen's braid, like a braid, and then you wrap that.
Right. How is that wrapping staying on there for 2 years?
It stays.
It starts to intertwine. It's pretty much similar to
it's legit locked in. It's locked. She's gonna have to cut her hair off.
No, she might not. She could just probably cut it and unwrap the encasing, and her hair will be inside of it. So it's like a casing. So this.
But the buildup, though.
The buildup is going to be around the edge of the hair, not the whole shaft.
Yeah, but that part.
The shaft of the hair is going to be okay.
Synthetic on your actual hair for that long, and your actual hair not.
Listen,
it's going to be a problem, girl.
I don't know. All I know is that I look at her like she's crazy, and she always runs the other way.
She is crazy.
Okay, and the only reason I know that it's possible for it not to be damaged is I have a client that had her fall off for a whole 6 months. Came to me, was like, okay, I know, I gotta take this out. You know what I'm saying? And the case, and her hair was fine, but that's 6
so
months.
Can people always have their hair braided or locked forever every day of the year? That's okay for healthy hair?
I think when they take it out, and I have a client who takes it out every 2 months and then put it back in the day before she takes it off.
If they get it redone as often as you suggest, you can keep your hair braided indefinitely.
Your hair.
Yeah, you can. If the person is doing it right, if you're not using gel, if you are actually moisturizing the person's
I was just about to say hair care.
Yeah,
if you actually as far as the shampooing with braids and faux locks, I know that for me I would use the little bottles, the ones where you have hair color, and I would mix my shampoo and some water and some oils in that bad boy, shake it up, and I would focus it on my scalp, and then I would go like that and then wash it out, and I can leave my hair alone for a longer period of time because I'm not disturbing the actual braid itself. If you moisturize your hair prior to like braiding, and especially before you if you put the faux lock on, if your hair stays moisturized, the faux lock, like she was saying, it does encase the hair. Like it basically is like a cocoon for the hair. So your hair, the regular shaft of the hair is protected, but your roots gonna tell the truth.
Right. That's why the roots care is very important. I tell double putting castor oil all through your root. I understand that you like the Jamaican castor oil, honey, but your scalp is clogging your pores.
Yes.
You understand?
That's
Like,
why I
a lot
tell
of people don't understand that. Like, okay, I understand you love the castor oil. That's great. And makes your hair grow. That's great.
dilute
Very
that
heavy.
bad boy.
Pores are not, you need something that's gonna promote blood flow, and like
Yes.
that is what makes your hair grow. So if you get things like tea tree oil that promotes the buffer, you feel it tingling, or a nice coconut oil, jojoba oil, even rose hemp, like those things are really good for your scalp. Don't put any heavy oils in your scalp. That's why you shouldn't put grease in your scalp. I'm sorry, it's true. I be looking at my friends crazy. You can't put the heavy grease that has over.
Yeah, not the heavy grease, but to get in there, I'd be like, use the Cantu's tea tree, a jojoba on the scalp, just go through.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
And then like every maybe 3 days, depending on how dry the person's scalp is, because if they like really dry and they suffer from like.
But also, if their hair is really dry, they need to see a dermatologist. I have so many clients, and they be mad at me, but I be like, listen, I have to tell you because I don't want you to go and be like, oh, why didn't she tell me that my hair looked like it had alopecia? Why didn't she tell me I look like I might have a skin, disorder or something like that? Like, I'm always looking at my client's scalp. I don't know if it's an obsession. I'm always like looking at, I see something. I always, let me get your camera, taking a picture. Oh, I am the queen of that. Ask any of my clients. Let me take a picture. Let me show you. Oh, you got a little spot right here. They didn't have it before. Take a picture. And I'm not gonna lie, like I had a few clients that went to the dermatologist. I'm like, please go to the dermatologist, and they end up having some immune deficiency disorder, having alopecia, or some kind of other stuff, because a lot of things that happens to your body, it shows in your head and you don't even know it. Sometimes it's just regular stress, but sometimes you really have an issue. So if you're seeing that you have constant dandruff, you have to go to the dermatologist. Dermatologist is not for your face only. It's for your scalp as well.
It's skin.
So, your skin, yeah, your skin. So people don't understand that. So I'm like, if you're having a lot of dandruff, okay, we can use tea tree oil till we die, but you
need a professional. You need a professional. Yeah, because if it's persistent and it's not changing, then you do need a professional. And a lot of people don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Because they're scared.
Yeah, they're scared.
And it's like, and I know people who have been with a dermatologist, and it's still like they still have issues. It's not progressing. It's just kind of like, maybe it's your diet. Maybe it's something that you're eating that you have to remove. But people don't want to do stuff. People don't want. They just be like, look, they're
like, cover it up. Maybe have a ball. Like, just put this over here and cover it up. I won't say, like, girl, okay.
I can't do that. I do not work miracles like that. Like, I'd be like, the whole point is to help you make this an option and not a permanent thing. Like, you don't need it. So, okay, so let's go. All right, so now I wanted to ask you for like quarantine looks, like what inspired y'all looks today?
Well, to be honest, I got some braid backs right now. So from the wig that I had. And so, honey, I had to make good of this nice scarf. Okay. And I'm going to take the braids out in 2 days and, do some things. But this is why I have this, because I have to make meals. And I have to, you can't see that right now. So that's why I have this scarf on.
Well,
Can you show us how to tie it?
Huh?
Can you show us how to tie it?
Yeah, I will now. Right now, when I take out the braids, girl, I'm gonna look like Celie. Yeah, I don't want to look like Celie on this line. So please, I have her ask people. I will give a tutorial when I don't look like Celie. Please. Yes.
Fair.
Okay. Okay. Well, y'all know I just got this done up. It's easy. It's quick.
So I literally just I washed my hair yesterday and like deep conditioned it, and then I just washed out the deep conditioner today and then added like a couple of butters. But as soon as this bad boy goes off, I will be braiding these two bad boys off, and I'll be walking around here looking like Pippin lawn stockings, and then calling it a day.
Is that how you keep it in braids?
Yeah, I normally put two braids, one on this side, one on this side. But if I want something tighter, then I'll do 4 braids.
Is your hair damp right now?
No, it's actually dry.
Oh, it looks so shiny and beautiful.
See?
Oh, girl, pomegranate oil and grapeseed oil will do it. Mm-hmm.
I told you.
I love me some pomegranate and some grapeseed.
I'm there like, what? I used to work for a hair company in Deek, and I'm like, no, is that your hair? Because I used to be like, I used to throw in the 30 inches, all that up in there, but I was just like, I could just stare at her hair all day.
Texture of my wig, honey, and I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, thank you.
Like, wow.
I'm not gonna hold you. I cut it every 3 years. I'm actually due for like a cut again. Normally I cut off all of this and then donate it. Every 3 years I donate it. I don't need it.
Right. That's beautiful.
Wow. Okay.
How about you, Maya?
You know what I'm saying? Can I let me know when you're about to do it? Because then I could just like
pick you up.
I could take your hair, go to Rushell. She could do my faux line. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo.
I'll give you that bohemian wave. Faux line.
Malaysian.
Oh, Malaysian.
What is happening? What are you doing, Maya?
What's up, Maya?
I keep my hair on top to sleep like this. I was just gonna show you guys.
Yeah.
And then I wrap it around like this. And then
is it like a messy bun?
No, I keep it like that. It's kind of like a roller.
Oh.
So then I take it down, and then I have
that's
curls.
Smart.
And then you can like take it out. Ooh, and then it has a little bounce to it.
Right.
Ew.
And I have curls. I don't know if you guys can
see. So it's like a way to keep the curls, like keep the bounce.
Well, it creates curls. I don't curl it. So it just, so then if I want to take it down, huh?
You didn't curl it?
Dope.
Well, I'm curling it, right? Because I'm wrapping it around.
That's so good. Look at that. Vastia, like somebody.
Listen, it can't even live in New York. See?
No, but that's really cool.
Your curve is getting better in New York. Thank you, Jesus. Are you guys all in New York or somebody's in New Jersey? New Jersey's getting better too. I'm praying for you.
Yeah. New York is getting a lot better, but my biggest issue with how New York is getting better is how many people aren't getting tested. Yeah. That's my biggest issue because I feel as though there's misrepresentation of how many people are actually getting tested. And yeah, there's a lot because I used to work at 2 of the major hospitals here in New York, Lenox Hill Hospital, as well as I worked at Presbyterian. And from what I'm gathering from the people that are actually on the forefront, they don't have enough testing, which is something that Governor Cuomo has been, yelling at Trump to try to get us because we don't have enough testing. So I'm more so afraid of how much testing we don't have compared to how many people they're saying, don't have it anymore, if that makes any sense. Because it's like you can't say that we don't have it if nobody's getting tested and if a lot of people can't get tested unless they have 104 degree
But I think
And
I think the way they're measuring that bend is on hospitalizations and deaths.
well, even with the hospitalizations, there's a lot of people that aren't being admitted into hospitals. So they're not even, there's people that are going to hospitals and they're being turned away. There was actually a few Black
also,
women.
Wouldn't that be the case already? So the data we had before is also considering all the people that haven't been tested and all the people that haven't been admitted. So that those two things will always be true.
No, I would have to disagree on that, because the information that they're giving is from, like you said, the people that are coming in and that are actually being admitting. There were a few cases where there were people that were sent home and they either died at home or they died at work or what have you. And some were tested for it and some were not tested for it. Or so they've been exhuming a couple of bodies actually in New York, because there's a lot of people that have died, but they don't know whether or not it was COVID related or not. So that's why I say, like, that number for me, it means absolutely nothing, because there's so many people who have gone to hospitals that get sent home and they feel like they have it, they know that they have it, but they were never tested on whether or not they have it, but they've already dealt with it, it's already passed through their system, but they're not documenting that person had it. So like I have a friend,
right, if the curve is measuring people who are hospitalized and
yes,
people who have died, not just everyone who might be sick with it, or the millions of people who are asymptomatic, then if we're considering just those two factors of hospitalizations and deaths, which we know, and to your point, some people die at home and maybe that's not documented, but I have to think that's the exception and not the rule, then you still think that, I'm not sure. What are you saying?
So maybe to help a little bit, what she's saying is that, yes, it's documented that they came in, took the test, and passed. But are you also, I don't know if this is right, but are you saying that just because you came in, took the test, and passed, are you saying they might not have passed from COVID? Is that what you're saying? It might have been something else?
No, what I'm saying is that there's people that are going to the hospital and they're being sent home without ever getting tested. Okay. And then like I was saying, that there are some that die at home, and then there's some that actually go home and they're alive. Like they've beat COVID, but they were never tested to find out whether or not they had COVID. And then those people are then infecting other people.
Right, which is why we need to have our behinds in the house, right? Because if we're not out,
but if you have yourself in the house and you don't know if you have it, you also don't know if you're giving it to the people that you live at home with as well.
Which is only the people in your house, right? So I mean, I don't know how many people you live with, but that would just be my husband. So if we both have it, we could suffer in here together. It's not going further than that, So
which is good.
Which is the point of staying home. Because we're not sharing with our friends. So I don't care if I'm tested or not, regardless of it. I mean, my doctor happens to live on this property. I live in a loft community. And so I was kind of fluish for like almost 3 weeks. And I saw him, he parks near me, and I was like, hey doctor, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what's up at the hospital? He's like, it's terrible. And, it's sad and all these things. And I was like, okay, well, let me know if I could bring you guys something, send you guys something, whatever, him and Molly. And then I was like, so I've kind of been sick, blah, blah, blah. He was like, do not come to the hospital. And here's the things. Don't come to the hospital unless you've had a fever for 3 days that you cannot control, or you feel like you're drowning.
Like you can't even move.
No, drowning, like, like if
your lungs are filled with
your lungs are filling,
right, hard to breathe. He was like, otherwise treat it like the flu. The flu does not have a cure. You just have to figure it out, right? Have tea, have liquids,
symptoms.
Like, try to monitor your fever, like, take Tylenol, blah blah blah, like, do all the things that you knew how to do of are a certain age in life. You've had the flu before. He was like, treat it like a flu, man. I don't know what to say, but do not come to the hospital. If you can survive, don't come to the hospital. Come to the hospital if you feel like I'm literally about to die, and that's it. What do I need to be tested for? I guess I don't know what does that offer me versus what does that offer anyone when the treatment is the same. I need to try to figure it out.
Because I think a good reason for getting tested is that there's people that's asymptomatic. And so if you're asymptomatic, you're here running around happy days, but you can pass it to
going to the grocery store.
But that is solved by stay your bottom in the house.
Yeah, so
it is,
but not
why
everybody
is
has
saying like if everybody just stayed home, it wouldn't spread.
Everyone, we all need to be treating this like you have it, which is why we're supposed to wear a mask when you're out at the grocery store so you don't pass it, right? Everyone treats it like you have it. You don't need a test to tell you now I need to be careful. Treat it like you have it anyway.
Okay, so even with treating
it, and when you're out, have a mask so you can't pass it to others.
But the thing is there's not so many people that actually have masks. It's not as though masks are something that, you walk into your pantry and it's right there.
I ordered mine online from my girlfriend in DC.
There's people that's walking around without a mask. They're going to grocery stores, hanging out in the park.
Last week. So, I mean, nobody has it immediately, but I mean.
And then also there's still people who have to go to the
her.
grocery store because, they need to get groceries. So that's why I'm saying is that if I have it and I'm, yes, I can have a mask on, but it doesn't just necessarily solely live within. It's a virus. So viruses tend to nestle in certain parts of your body and your clothing, which is why they ask that when you get inside the house, you take off all your clothes, you take off your shoes, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Now, even if people are wearing the masks, a lot of people aren't properly using their masks. They're also not properly washing and sanitizing their hands.
I know.
And they're also going into grocery stores and everybody's touching the same things and everybody's moving the same things. So even with that, my thing is, and the way that I feel as though that they should have done things is similar to how they're doing it currently in Korea, which is basically have everybody stay home. You pay people so that way their bills are handled and situated and stuff. You go into everybody's apartment and you test those people. You don't necessarily test those people, but you check their temperature, and then you see, okay, this area doesn't have, that area does have. This way you can.
Symptomatic. What does checking your temperature have? You wouldn't have a fever.
Because the thing is that in Korea, that's what they're currently doing, is that they're testing. They test you at your house. So like they're testing you at your house, whether it be just your temperature or with the stick down your nose to touch the back of your throat, so that way they can test you, so on and so forth. But they're also making sure that you stay, like you said, stay home. So they're keeping those people literally inside their apartment, and also making sure like they have an official that comes and brings the groceries to the door, as opposed to you leaving your house to go purchase groceries, because now you're pretty much just restarting your whole quarantine because you don't know whether or not you were exposed to it or not from the time that you went to the grocery store to come back. So ultimately,
I think that I was not pleased with it. The Bay Area shut down first, and I was like, are you kidding me? This sucks. So and even before that, a lot of our companies were like, hey, just work from home, don't come in, blah blah, like shutting it down. Like if you had the sniffles or your eye was twitching, they're like, hey, why don't you take 14 days and stay at home? Which was like, this is so dramatic. Who doesn't everybody works with the flu. It's not that big of a deal. But and you can't be 100%, but so Chidi, my girlfriend who's on, she just texted me. I don't know, is she muted?
Oh, she is muted. Hold on, let me unmute her.
And said that you can just cover your face. So with clothing, scarves, etc., it all helps. To your point, it's not 100%, but it's better than nothing if you're considering passing it. Also, if you guys are, I haven't had hand sanitizer in 100 years. It's unavailable. I do have some alcohol, so I try to like spray that. But yeah, but soap and water, they're saying first thing on the list, soap and water.
Yep.
Wash 20 seconds up to here. Like just keep, dry hands, but keeping them out. Wash your face, limit your outside. Like, you know what I mean? Just be hypersensitive about that stuff. And again, it's still not 100%, right? Because it's like,
exactly.
am I really about to give my romaine lettuce a soap bath? Probably not. But I mean, apparently you can't, if you ingest it, it's not going to kill you because it's going to go into your stomach. Your stomach's going to eat it up. But in the meantime, you've touched it. It's been wherever you chopped it up, blah, blah, blah. Right? So nothing's going to be 100%, but it could be better than not. And only 1% of the people die. So even though it's dramatic because there's so many people, it's not as many people as it could be. Most of us are going to survive it. I really believe we're going to find that most of us, if not all of us, even have it because it's been running.
A lot of people already have had it and have
had it and felt sick, but have had it and don't feel sick. Like more
exactly.
people.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, a lot of people have had it.
So it kind of doesn't, I mean, all of this stuff, it matters. It all matters. But I'm just like, for that reason, I'm just not that afraid of it, right? Like, it's not like, okay, well, I mean, I don't want to infect grandma or my neighbors or anybody, right? I just don't want to infect everyone. So I'm treating it like I have the plague, but I don't think we're going to die from it, right? I don't think it's a plague that's going to ruin everybody. Like, I think we're going to be okay. And I'm excited for a year from now when we have more data and we look back like, dang it. So looks like 90% of humans carry this anyway. Like, right? Like everyone will have the antibodies and it'll be like, I was a lot of to do about nothing. But we can't stay home always, but we definitely feels good to stay home while they figure out what this looks like and gather more data. And the Bay Area is definitely flattening the curve, so I feel good about that. And but life is not cool like this. I'm enjoying you guys, but this is not my life. I mean, I want to keep in touch, but I also want to go actively outside to brunch and hang out and like. I'm probably not going to shake hands. I think that will fall away, period, just because. Also, I'm a little bit germaphobe anyway, so I don't need that. But I am going to have to go outside and engage.
And I'm a hugger.
I'm not. So this works for me.
A hugger, but that might be on the shelf. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, but like when I see somebody that I haven't seen for so long, like someone I really, really care for, I'm not gonna be like,
listen,
it's gonna be weird.
I'm on the fence.
I'm accustomed to having to hug people, but I'm not a hugger.
Well, why do you have to?
Well, so since people call me an influencer, so if somebody that supports me online sees me in person, they tend to want to like hug or interact, and kind of sort of I like when they feel loved, and if that's their love language as far as touch, I have no problem compromising in those situations. But if it's something where I feel like I'm uncomfortable, I'm not doing it.
I'm a hugger. I'm a toucher, period. But that, I don't know if I will be going forward. And not because I feel like this will kill me if I get it or if I've had it or whatever. It just, I don't know. I think I'm just going to put that part of me, that social norm is probably on the shelf now. And I'm going to be okay saying what's up. And even my team at work, like I'm a high fiver or something. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm probably a thumbs up now. You killed it. Like, I don't know.
Yo, my mom does that to like everybody. And now my nephews do it. So they be like, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this 6 to 10 feet away, but 4 feet is okay. Like, I don't have to yell. You can hear me. I can hear you. I don't know. I don't know
how that's gonna work in New York because it's always crowded.
You guys are so densely populated.
Yeah. So it'd be the elevator. We're sitting in the elevator and people are like right there. Like, can you wait for the next one?
Right.
Yeah. You know, so my I can do this. This is what I do, like, you know, saying hi like this. you know,
I
laugh.
normally like I smile a lot. So like normally everybody's just like, oh, I'm warm from her smile. I'm like, good. That way I don't have to hug you.
What
So
if
that
you just
tends to
put
be
your arms away?
Put my arms together like this. It's like, okay, bye. And
See, I'm a big girl,
make
so I
you
look like
know
a
that
teddy
that's
bear.
a block.
You be
That's
like,
what I was gonna say. Do something different with your arms. That's a good one. If you put your arms in front, then they would have to debo you to hug you, or just put them away, right? Like just put them behind your back or
No,
something.
that doesn't work because people you put it with, they still don't go.
They just gonna squish you.
I had somebody grab me from the back and was like, hi. I'm like,
Was it a
See,
man?
no.
See,
That's
I'm like
very
Exactly.
a lot of people say I'm
woman.
soft. So
I'm
since
so
I'm
done with
soft,
you.
they like to come and like hug and feel. My daughter, my cousins, my aunts, strangers on the street.
Wait,
I just they go like this. Like
they
They
squish you?
caress her.
they squish me.
That's so cute though.
It is.
I'm a squisher, I gotta say. I'll squish
You
people.
are the people.
Sure. I'm not just a hugger, I'm a toucher. But I
'Cause
won't.
For me, I
I
normally
think I'm
ask.
putting it away though. I really
Yeah, no, because for me, I normally ask. I'll be like, "Oh, is it okay for me?" Because I get that from working in
I
hospitals.
do it at work. I do it at work. I'll
They-
ask. I'm like, I'm
they're
sorry.
like-
Can I touch you? Can we high five? Can we have a moment?
Exactly. Can we
But
hug?
I don't. Outside of work, I don't. I go in.
Yeah. Outside of
when I meet
work,
you, I'm not gonna touch you. I'm gonna be like,
like that was cute.
So now that we know everybody's new hand, you know, I guess greetings and our goodbyes. So okay, so I just want to plug in everybody's information. Vastia, she also has a book, poetry book. She she's on a lot of BuzzFeed. So you can definitely make sure you follow her and keep in contact with her.
what's your we're gonna get in our recap.
Mhm.
Okay.
You already know. I don't know if y'all can see. Am I pointing towards Rushell?
No, she's below you on my
Oh.
Well,
She's like right here.
Rushell.
Okay. So Rushell, she is Beauty Queen. Beauty King, and Beauty King. But you said you also started a new company.
yeah, it's I guess I'll tell y'all. Y'all are the first to know. Okay, cool. All right, this is happening. So, a little fast story about me is that I was in corporate, marketing and PR for like 10 plus years. I left and I was like, I'm going to start a travel company. I know how to do hair. I grew up in a hair salon. That's my story. I started doing hair on the side. Everybody started doing hair on the side. And then it becomes a full-time thing. So I was always doing hair and my travel business that I quit my job for. Of course, travel is not a thing right now. I lost thousands of dollars. And I was like, what am I going to do? I have to make sure I am essential now. Right? Hair is great because, like I said, my clients are doing the most to come and see me. It's something that's always going to be lucrative, right? But I needed something else that's always going to be lucrative, and I also kind of wanted to give back. A little side note, but I'm okay. My uncle passed like 6 days ago from the virus, and he has been battling it for a while. I have my friend that has the virus. She's been battling it. It's been hitting me very close. My godmother has it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been hitting me very close, and I was getting a lot of anxiety at the beginning because I was like, boom, 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 like everyone was just like, I got it. I'm like, what? So I decided to go into the health field, kind of, I guess, sanitation-wise. I have a steaming company that I incorporated and I started, and I have like maybe a few contracts happening. It's mostly commercial, but I am also doing residential in the most safe way I know possible. And we also, every month, we're going to feature a few businesses that we're going to steam their properties for free. You know, a lot of businesses that in the inner cities that probably can't afford to be completely steam cleaned, and it is in the inner cities where it is the most prevalent. Where I live next to East New York, if you don't know, East New York and Brooklyn is the number one place that has it. And I go to businesses and they're not doing what they need to do. Sometimes they don't have the measures and sometimes they do, but they're not knowledgeable. I went to my local supermarket and I'm like, what are you doing? There was no like barrier up. There was no 6 feet thing. I'm like, hello, y'all don't see what's happening? And I feel like those are the places where the hood is going to frequently, you know. I live kind of in between, so I have like the white area over here, not to say that, but like the leg over here, and I can walk to another supermarket that's like beautiful and amazing, and like they have all the stuff up. But then if I walk down a few blocks down, it's the hood supermarket and they don't have anything. They don't, the cashiers don't have masks, they don't have gloves, they don't have anything, and they don't have proper sanitation or sanitizing. You know what I'm trying to say. So I am definitely gonna pick a few of those to like just go out and steam and help help them the best way I know how. So that is going up next week. The business is done. I have my people and everything's done, but I'm not going to start it until officially until next week. It's called Steamy Clean. And also for you guys, if you have like a steam cleaner at home, steam clean your couch, steam clean your things. Those things, it helps. If your steamer is like above, I think it's 175 degrees, which a lot of the handheld ones are, you can steam things, you know.
Yeah, I can steam.
Your windows, so anything that you feel like you touch a lot and you get in contact and you just want to try to like refresh a little bit, you can do it. I steam clean my couch all the time because that's where I live. I have a bed, but I love my couch, so I'm always like steaming it, making sure that, you know, it's sanitized the best way I know how. And
Congratulations and again condolences on your family and friends.
Yeah.
And
My
pray
condolences.
that your godmom and your friend pulls through.
yeah, thank you.
No more. I don't want to hear anybody else in your
So
look.
so much.
If I were to tell y'all the amount of on my end, y'all be like, damn, why she still smiling?
No,
But
it's the same.
You have to though. You still have to.
Yeah.
You got to stay positive. Like there's no growth in fear.
Right.
We have to move forward in positive light, love, light, and life, because you have to see the silver lining at all times and see God's work all the time. He's good no matter what pandemic or whatever illness that we're going through. He's gonna make a way. So all the time, he's good no matter what pandemic or whatever illness that we're going through. He's gonna make a way. So I'll be smiling. I have to dance, you know, have the music on, you know, stay away from the social media because it can get a little, you know, people don't even greet no more. They just send you videos about COVID. And I'm like,
stop. It's triggering.
Like, we're all in this together. We know what these videos are viral.
Check those people, because I have found that people cling to negativity. It's like a source for them, right? And you need to call them on that. Like, first of all, I get to choose what I intake. And just like you had access to find this, I do too. I chose not to. Keep that to yourself. But also bring to their attention that, yes, you went out of your way to show me 70 times that Idris had this. You didn't tell me that Idris is fine and he and his wife never even came down with symptoms. That part you didn't feel as emotional about to tell me, like, yeah, he did all right. right? Like, isn't that bizarre? Like, everyone went out of their way to say, oh my gosh, Tom Hanks, oh my gosh, and his wife, and his wife, and his wife, they're good. Did you say that they back in LA having a smoothie? You never told me that part. That part wasn't important to you. And there has to be a reason why, right? Like, everybody's phone blew up about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is okay and thriving. Are we going to talk about it? No, we're not. Why is that?
Because the thing is I think that people have been conditioned in a sense, because when you look at media and you look at propaganda and you look at the ways in which the world tends to give news, they give news in a sensational way, and they make sure that every single headline is about this one particular thing, and then you don't hear about like the back end. You don't hear about like how people are doing good or whatever. So I feel like as you grow up, and especially when we grew up in a time where if you were old enough where your TV was actually a radio, or when your actual TV was the size of somebody's radio, nice and big and bulky, you kind of sort of give news like how you receive news.
Right.
So those generations tend to give you the way that they normally get it. So like now that we have like the internet and we have ways in which we can talk to people all the way in the Bay Area, from here, we're more connected and we're less I would like to say less, we're more focused on the bad that's going on in all of these areas, and we're less focused on like the fact that, hey, some people that have been cured from it, or I know some people that have had it and didn't know that they had it until after they've already came on the other side and they're perfectly fine. But the thing is like, since we're so accustomed to giving bad news and receiving bad news, that's the only thing that we know to connect to. But I really do speak to that point of making sure you limit your social media intake, limit your news intake. It's okay to peek at the news every so often to find out what's going on in the world, but I give myself 55 minutes on Instagram. If it's past 55 minutes, I'm not on Instagram. I don't have any notifications for anything. So nobody can, like, even though I get a whole influx of information sent to me, I get to consume it at my own pace. And I don't put that on other people, because for them, they don't know how to deal with pandemics, or they don't know how to deal with stuff like this. For me, I worked in ICU, CCU. I've worked in NICU. I've worked in mother baby. So because of those things, a lot of this is just like, oh, okay, because I've not necessarily desensitized or normalized. I've learned to accept certain things for facts and then deal with the emotional aspects of it as things go gradually. So I feel like a lot of us, we're just taught to just work on emotions first and then think about the outcome afterwards, or just anger first and then ignore all the good that normally comes. So it's it's way we're programmed.
It's like the kids, like if the one that's doing good all the time, nobody really pays attention to that one. But the one that's acting out, that's the one that gets all the attention. And you're sitting there like, why am I rewarding this one to be quiet when this one has been?
That was me.
Like, so I always focus on the kid that is actually, because that was me, doing the right thing all the time, but getting unnoticed because you're seen but not heard. Like, it's just kind of, you're there.
Right.
But the one that's like, like they need all the attention, and it's like, yo, why are we rewarding this? So I started restricting a lot of people on Instagram. I started blocking people on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp will have you sitting here thinking that everything is a problem and everything is the solution.
Listen, I blocked my mother. I like on WhatsApp. No, because, and I told her,
you gotta do what you gotta do,
because she just sends it, like whenever somebody sends something, she forwards it. Like, it's just like, and I'm like, can you call me, see how I'm doing, talk to me? Like, you don't have to send me videos. We already know what's going on. Wash your hands. Okay, we understand it. Like, everybody is grown. Like, we understand this. Maybe we should talk to the kids about washing your hands.
Yeah.
Some grown people don't know how to wash it, but I'm just saying, I'm like, I don't need to see all of these videos.
It's
Stop
trigger
tagging me. I'm good. I suffer from anxiety. I don't need to hear these ping, ping, pings over and over and over. And it's nothing good. It's never nothing that wants to make me smile. Like, hi, girl.
Right.
Hey, like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Okay. So now I wanted to talk about Maya. You have Poor Little Rich Girl Studio,
Yeah.
her website. So I just wanted to just plug her. Also, um, she was actually one of the winners from last Beauty
I
Extended.
did win, and I
Did you?
love my stuff.
Yeah.
I did. I got a body scrub, and I don't remember the owner's name, honestly. I don't know that she actually told me her actual name, but I received a body scrub, and she was like, "Oh, well, tell me what you love and what your skin type is like, and blah 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 blah." Like, which was really nice as opposed to just throwing something in the mail. You get what you get, and so she customized for me, which is a blessing when someone is doing this. It's actually organic and actually, like, made small batch, not like pulling it off the shelf. And so I ended up with a coffee and cocoa butter scrub, and it's everything. Not only does it make me happy because I love coffee, and while I was fluish, I wasn't having any because I like milk in my coffee, and I was trying to stay away from the dairy because I was mucusy. So I was like, it was like getting me to the time where I could have coffee again. So I love it. I love it. I think she's awesome. But thank you so much. Yes, Poor Little Rich Girl Studio is an online store, and I guess the idea of it was to have a space for not just for us, but definitely I'm buying with us in mind. So like colors that we have there look good on me, not like colors at Gap are always like they look good on pink tones, and I'm like, dang, that's a cute dress, but that color's weird. So so that's kind of the premise is I am buying considering us, and I keep everything affordable. So thank you so much. But
Amazing.
huh?
You was
That's
welcome to say,
amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
so that's good. So I just wanted to make sure everybody has like a flag. So, and I mentioned Vastia as an author, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I
Yes.
did.
I was about to
So,
say,
Trying to
I
follow
guess
up to
this is
tell us
my
where to find
my
everybody.
time to throw in. So, my books, I currently have 3 books that are out. Basically, I am a self-love motivator. I like for people to feel good about who they are at all aspects. That means with the bad, the good, the ugly, and the great. I basically take the issues that I've gone through in life. I've been raped, I've been molested, I've had a whole bunch of things happen to me. So I give my business so that I can get money, so that I can donate to organizations that actually help stop the cycle of each individual thing. So I give to the Rape Foundation because they assist as far as, medical costs. Everybody knows that a lot of tests aren't really ran. So they actually pay for testing. They cover the cost of testing because you as a victim tend to have to be the person to pay for your own rape kit. So they basically cover those costs. So what I do is I go around, I sell my books, and I donate 30% of proceeds from each one of my books to different organizations to stop domestic violence and stop basically the cycle of homelessness, because ultimately that's my way of continuing to give back. I needed to find a way to use my voice to not only, be loud and freaking proud about the shenanigans that I go through in life, but to also make sure that I'm speaking up for people who can't advocate for themselves or who are fearful of advocating for themselves, especially as a Caribbean woman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and I do media stuff. So I be on people's TVs and stuff like that.
What country you from?
Haitian.
Okay. Hey.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I love it.
yeah. So no, and through our words, that's how we tell our story, and through our stories, that's how we heal the world. So I really admire every one of y'all, and I'm gonna continue doing the beauty extended and giving an opportunity for different people to just kind of connect, give out their what they're going through and any tips that they can, vice versa. Now it became a whole exchange between everyone on the call instead of just the beauty industry. So I'm like, you know. So I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Natural Hydration Product. She's running a 50% off for her thing. So her products are really good. I use what did I use the oatmeal body scrub.
Learn that you don't remember today.
No, but it's oatmeal body scrub. I used it actually this morning because I was outside and it was super like dry and cold outside. The sun is out, but it was like cold.
Cold, yeah.
So we also have Diva Magazine, who is also like promoting the event. She has an online magazine, so that is definitely a place where you can get your information out. She's highlighting all women entrepreneurs and what they're doing, and what they're going through this time. And Gore Media, by her own rules, media. She is also media. Of course, she's media, but she's also promoting this the Beauty Extended event to her, I guess, her audience. So I'm just like, is that everybody?
So Diva Magazine.
Diva Mag, DVAmag.com.
And all this stuff will be in
a recap.
Perfect.
It'll be in the recap, and this will be followed by it'll go live on Spotify, iHeart, Google, all the major podcast platforms Monday. So it'll be a Beauty Extended episode, and it'll also be viewed on YouTube. So yeah, so I'm just trying to get the information out as possible, like on every platform as possible. And from time to time, you'll see me highlight a couple of y'all businesses on Beauty and Braids podcast Instagram page. So you'll just randomly get like a shout out, just because I just like promoting people that I like. So and what they like.
So I'll definitely do it. I think it's important that we do that. So I'm happy to.
Agreed.
All right, thank you so much. And a little update on Julia. She had 3 kids, and she has a really young one. I think she just turned 1. So yeah, so she's like, it's a lot to try to entertain them, get them ready, and then get on the call. So she didn't expect it to be that crazy today. So we still love her sending out.
She's a mom.
Right? These kids. And she has twins. She has twins. So it's like, I said 3 kids. She has 4 kids, but 3 of them are like young.
Wow. God bless Julia.
I got 1, and she's a headache. So whoever wants her,
How old?
She's 13 going on 30.
Wow, 13?
Yeah, 13 going on 30. So if you want her, she cooks, she cleans.
Why are you giving her up then?
Because she talks back. She talks back now. I liked it better before.
It'll be better. She was gonna be your best friend.
Oh no, that's bestie. But we could be besties from afar. So if you want her, I could FedEx her. I make sure she comes sanitized.
The way COVID is set up right now,
I'll make sure she come over sanitized. I got you.
They are essential.
Exactly.
Each package is moving.
My sister the other day, she was there like, hey, can you cut my hair? I said, girl.
My daughter's enjoying it because all she's been doing is bothering me, picking up all the food. That's all she does. She just bothers me and eats food. That's it.
Oh shoot, we should have covered that. I promise you, food became a hobby. I'm in here getting on the scale every few days. Like,
listen,
I just made salmon yesterday.
periodically just to make sure, like, what is going on?
Like, let me go look in the fridge real quick.
No,
It
I haven't
looks
even
like-
been. I've been snacking on crackers and drinking lots of tea and water. Like,
I've been drinking a lot of tea, but I don't want to. I wasn't feeling good. I just had to. I'm so over tea. I don't know what to do with myself. But it just, what else are you gonna do? It'd be like, okay, let me whip up this fabulous meal. Then you eat the fabulous meal, and then you might like work a little bit. Then you like, cook something? Like, what are you gonna do? The days are long, baby. The days ain't never been this long ever. The days are long. And now the sun then came out and it's bright and beautiful here. I'm like, ooh, I need something to do. Honestly, work is not filling that much time. There ain't enough.
you're gonna have to take naps.
So you just start a project. Start a new project. That's what I started doing.
I started so many
Like
projects.
what? Like what? I'm thinking about ordering some
um,
paint supplies and start painting. But like what?
Yeah, I
and
started
stuff.
back painting.
Mhm.
I might start painting.
You know
for
what
the
I got
first-
on Amazon the other day? Tie-dye kit.
Mm.
Okay,
Crazy
but
enough, I've been
Amazon's
seeing
not
that.
delivering until the doggone quarantine is over. Everything I've tried to order, they be like, "I'm gonna get with you in a few months." Like my
No,
delivery.
no,
dates
I'm getting
are
that in a few
horrible.
days.
Huh?
You get that in a few days.
No, indeed. No, indeed. What I gotta do? I need to buy Prime Plus or something. Amazon.
I got Prime.
I'm like, do I need to upgrade my Prime? The deliveries are like way far. They're like weeks and weeks out. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna be able to go outside by then. But a tie-dye kit, that's cute. I watched maybe it was BuzzFeed actually, but I watched a cute little something about tie-dye and I was like, that's cute.
And I got into crystals this year, so I've been making a lot more crystal things. And
I've been the way that I've been basically dealing with this quarantine, honestly, is I've been sharing resources with people. So like food pantries. I've been helping people as far as like, because all right, so other part of me, I'm currently finishing my dual masters in industrial organizational psychology and in child and adolescent development. I have a bachelor's in psychology and I have an associate's in health sciences. So I focus a lot on mental health. I focus a lot on like basically just people being in tune with who they are innately. So I've been like sharing like things or tips and tricks. A lot of people have been saying like because of the stuff that I'm sharing with them, it's been making them feel better with what's going on in the world. So I try to distract but also still inform, if that makes sense, like that balance. I've been doing a lot. I had stopped doing makeup tutorials, so everybody's been asking me to do some more makeup tutorials. So I think that that's another thing that I'm going to start doing again, is incorporating makeup looks while I still talk about like different topics, whether it be girl talk, talks about pretty much any and everything. No topics are pretty much off limits for me. And I've been working on 4 other books. I know that sounds like a lot, but I pretty much tend to work on everything all at once so that
How
way.
long do you think we're gonna be in this quarantine?
I'm not
You
gonna
like
hold
4 other books. Like you aiming for 2020.
Listen.
I think we're gonna be
2021.
quarantined for a little while.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna come back in this.
I hope we get out by July.
I hope so too. I spent my
By
birthday.
July. First of all, y'all ain't been in that long, okay? I done done my time, okay? I ain't waiting until July. I promise I'm gonna be on the 6 o'clock news if I have to wait till July. I won't.
I think it's gonna last the whole month of April and maybe a little trickle in May, but it's still gonna be like dangerous a little bit.
I feel like it's gonna go to May. It might hit June.
May I'm gonna be outside.
I need to listen. I spent my birthday quarantined. I need to get out. I gotta go.
You're trying to get out this box. You in this thing like.
What about that?
I gotta go.
You know, I'm so petty. So like, I had a woman, I do women's retreats. So I had a women's retreat to India, and there was a few girls that was kind of nervous to go on a women's retreat, so they canceled in February, and they were Aries, and it was their birthday. And girl, we went to India, had a good time, came back, and they was like, "Oh no, my birthday." I was like, "See, that's what I told you. You should have came on the trip. You could have had a birthday." All the Aries that came on the trip, we gave them a birthday party. Now look at y'all Aries just sitting there alone, child.
Listen, and it snowed and rained on my birthday. I was like, wonderful. And it was my 30th birthday. I was like,
Well,
wonderful.
that makes you not want to go outside though, right? Doesn't that make it like less, like if it were November, I would be okay because it's dark, it's cold, it gets, you know what I mean? It's like, where else I want to be anyway? Let's just have pie and ice cream and chill out for a month.
I think also because they're telling me I can't or that I shouldn't, it's making me want to do it more.
I don't think I would care if it were cold and dark. I think I'd be down.
I'd be like,
it'd be like, whatever, I'm camped out. It's cool. Let's do that. Let's go to the snow in Tahoe. Let's hang out.
I think tomorrow's Easter.
This is day 28 for me. Enough.
I think that's a good thing. I think that we need to figure out who can come to your house. Can I bring some to my house that don't have it?
No.
How you gonna know?
I wish that we could figure that part out so I can have guests.
Like, can they spray something around somebody and be like,
I don't know.
Okay, now, if I could host a few dinner parties in person, it'll be lit, but no.
Well, okay, so you have an online boutique. Can you do, like, dress up videos?
Oh, my husband? Y'all want to see him in some dresses?
No, you. Like, do
I
that.
try not to post. I really try not to post myself. I try to not be.
Or get an influencer.
You want me to send you something? You want to put on a dress and take some pictures? I don't want. I really like. I haven't even told them on this business. I am so separate from my business.
I'm the same way.
People don't cheer for you. They'll buy it if they think it's you, but if they know it's yours, then it's like they don't. So I'd rather just be separate.
A lot of people don't even know Travel Rush is my company. Like, a lot of people don't know.
Unfortunately, in our community, it does not work out.
No. And same thing with my new company, Steamy Clean. I'm just gonna go, I have my people that need it in the industry, and if you know that I do it, I do it. But that's it. It's really hard. The only thing that I promote that a lot of my friends know is Beauty King. Like, a lot of them want me to do hair because they want me to do your damn hair. But a lot of times your people that you think that support you, they really not support.
Right.
No. You should have put your personal though.
Nuts on my personal account. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Where'd you get that? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. If I said like, hey, this is my thing, will you guys buy that? It'd be silent, no likes. Like, it was, people don't, I don't.
But don't take it personal.
That's why I will randomly promote somebody's business and cheer and all of that. Like, I sow good seeds. It's important.
Right.
So
and people really appreciate that. I get people who will DM me like, girl, like my post. I'll be like, you gonna tell me to like your post? Like, that don't.
Okay.
Yes.
So someone has DM'd me more than one time. All right, I'm choosing my words. She done said she gonna post this. So someone has DM'd me more than one time and sent me an ad of theirs.
Okay.
With no words or nothing. And I was kind of like, okay. So I'd like, I doubled, I liked it. Like, well, I don't know what that's for, and moved on. And then she was like, can you post that? And I was like, I mean, I can. And I'm not even mad to do it. I'm happy to do it. But that's really nervy because you've never posted anything of mine.
Like, can we talk really briefly about social media etiquette?
There's a
So,
lot. How about say hello?
This is a whole new.
I need to stop recording. Turn this off. Push that button. Turn this off.
If I turn it off,
Carrie, you gotta do this once a week. Carrie, you gotta do this once a week so we can get some things out, girl. Because
you need
no,
to turn that
Nah.
If I turn it off, if I turn it off, then everybody is off.
That's true. That's true. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it because I could care less about backlash. In a word. First off,
I done got nervous.
People, if you want somebody to do something for you, first off, butter me up. I'm not gonna hold you. Hi, hello. That's a way of buttering somebody up. Don't just post this. I'm sorry, is this your Instagram? Do you have my password and my username? No, you do not. So that means you do not own this. So that means I do with it what I please, when I please, how I please, the way that I please. That's one.
Right.
Two. Now, my biggest issue is don't send me your video. Like, if you are sharing your story, don't share all of your story with me and expect me to, one, watch, two, like it. Let me do it how I feel like doing it. Or
Right.
if it shows on my feed, then it's on my feed.
Right.
Or you can say, hey, I haven't seen you interact with my post. I wanted to know whether or not you were seeing it. There is ways in which that you could say things to people that will influence them to engage with you.
Right.
Do not send me every one of your stories talking about, did you see this? You know I didn't see it. That's why you sent it to me.
Oh, that's really self-important. That's bizarre.
Right. And you can see who see your stories in your stories.
It says same.
Oh, come on with the honesty.
I mean, they're like, okay, this person seen it, this person didn't. Like, I mean, I'm not. Then it becomes, you need to be authentic. Like,
there it is.
I will like and go through people's stuff. Sometimes I don't look at everybody's stories, but then sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let me check this out, and I will repost. But I'm like, yo, I really like what this person is doing. But when I see people send me stuff in DM, and I'm just kind of like, or tag me on everything, I'd be like,
oh, that was the other one.
that.
Don't tag me. Don't tag me if it ain't got nothing to do with me, because I'm not gonna like it, and I'm gonna take myself out that tag, and you just gonna have to be big mad by yourself in a corner someplace, because that does nothing for me. Now, the way that you need to do things is communicate. For some odd reason, people just are expectant of other people to just do, like, oh, I'm gonna send this to this person, they're gonna like it. No. If you don't know me and you don't know necessarily what I like and what I don't like, and you send me something I don't like, I'm not going to pity like it just because you sent it to me. You're kind of sort of manipulating a person.
I will.
And yeah, like, I don't like that. You're literally manipulating a person. You're shaming them, and you're providing peer pressure for them to engage with you in a way that's favorable for you. You don't care how that person felt about it. You don't care if they felt like, okay, this person never likes my stuff, but they want me to like all of their stuff. And then that's another thing. Like, for me, I don't care if people like stuff or they don't like stuff. I've never cared about numbers. Anybody that has known me since I started social media to now, I was over here working on major brand deals when I only had like 200 followers. I care less about followers. Followers have never done anything for me because I don't see myself as an influencer. I see myself as Vastia, as an entity. So I don't care about numbers. So if people engage or they don't engage, it makes me no different because I leverage other things. I don't leverage my following. Now, I get it. Some people, that's their thing. Like, oh my God, if I have all these followers, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, but if you don't have organic engagement,
Right.
forcing it ain't gonna make it work.
If it's not authentic, it's not gonna work. You know that, remember that girl that had 1 million followers and she had the t-shirt line and she got $35? Only $35 for t-shirt. And how you have 1 million followers, honey? And you only got 35 t-shirts.
She probably bought her followers.
Exactly.
No, she didn't. It's real. She's just not authentic. She's just a very selly person, and people wasn't messing with her like that. She's not authentic.
I follow her. I don't follow businesses that are just about, like, you know, if like, I don't upload a dress every day and here's a sale and blah blah blah. Like, if you don't have anything just a little bit extra, I don't care to follow that. Like, what for?
Yeah, and then like, and there's like a rhythm to it. Like with Beauty and Braids Instagram, like there's a rhythm to what I post. Like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna post because, oh my God, it has to go out. Or Beyonce just came out. Like I need to put. I have to like. There's like, listen to this. 5 of these. I have to like. It has to be some type of rhythm and rhyme to the posting.
And people understand your rhythm and rhyme over time. They will understand what kind
But back to what you were saying, Vastia, I will like things as long as I don't dislike it, right? If it doesn't make me feel a way in my tummy and I dislike it, then the like costs me nothing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm liberal with the likings, right? Like, God bless you. I hope you succeed. There's no reason not to. And I did post her thing. And I was like, okay, but I just thought, wow, this is so self-important. But a lot of people are. So that's, whatever. It is what it is.
Make sure you send her all your things now. And send it all.
No, I don't even know if she follows me, which is cute, but whatever. I don't even know. I don't care either. You know what I mean?
No, let me tell you something, girl. You gonna have to.
No, Mama. I promise you, I am very type A. Like I have it my way, right? But I have to care, and I don't.
Oh, so
Like it doesn't cost, like it was no kind of I wouldn't have even remembered maybe if this hadn't come up, right? It wasn't like I can't believe her, because I will set a boundary and say anything to anybody. Like I'm not run over by any means. I just don't care. I just think like, her life is probably this big, and her business, I mean, God bless her. I hope not, but maybe struggles because you reap what you sow. You know what I mean? Like, I am not in a position where I've really felt like I had to combat with her, or that maybe I even want you to promote my brand because maybe it doesn't line up with whoever follows you, right?
Exactly.
Bizarre that someone would have the audacity. That's the part that kind of was like, that's a trip. And I kept going, like, whatever, okay, girl. But then I posted it, and then so they obviously then posted that I posted it, and I was like, but then they like grayed out my company name, right? Because you could go out of your way and make someone's company, you know what I mean? Like you could. If you post, if someone mentions you in a story and you just automatically click to add to your story, it doesn't show their business name clearly. So I always go out of my way and at them, write large, which is the point. If I am advertising you, I need people to see what your company name is, right? Or your ad.
Right.
Otherwise, what's the point? Right. So I did that, but she did that. And it was kind of like,
wow.
This is all about you. You know what I mean?
I'm a Pisces and I'm petty, and it would just wouldn't have gone down.
I have to care.
I'm working on myself every day.
Follow my personal Instagram.
This is me.
Working on myself every day.
My eyebrow goes up, and people meet me, they're like, "Oh, she's so sweet," but I'm like very observant. So I'm like, I will help people and everything like that, but then my eyebrow goes up when I start to feel a kind of way, and I'm like, oh.
I mean, my personal account is very different than my business account. My business account is a very distinct brand. That is not necessarily who I am personally exact. You know what I mean? It's different. It's business facing. And I don't care that much. But personally, I would just say to whoever was like, really? Girl, next time, don't waste your time or my time. We okay with that. Like,
and then that's the other thing though, is like, I just don't like how the way that society currently is going, like where they don't like cancel culture, which I think of it as keeping people accountable, sharing how you feel about how somebody else made you feel. For some reason, that's looked down upon, in a sense, where it's like constructive criticism.
Yeah, it is now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah. You can't do that. But
oh my gosh, because they're human.
Listen,
girl, after this call, I'm about to tell everybody I just canceled somebody. Can't wait. I wrote down the whole thing. Can't wait to tell everybody no.
Because the thing is that we live in a current society where everything is more so appearance based for internet, right? So everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're human. This person made a mistake. Yes, we acknowledge that a person made a mistake. We also see the pattern in which this person makes certain mistakes.
Right.
And the thing is that you have to set boundaries so that way you don't allow yourself to be victimized by that person's inherent trait of being this trash individual. So I think that that's what people tend to fail to figure out.
That the other trash individuals know, don't come over here and try to do no trashy ass thing, because we don't got the time.
Ooh, I know the editing on this segment about to be hard.
Oh,
Girl,
I'm gonna have to be like, this is now continued.
Because the other thing is, and you know, obviously correct me if I'm wrong, the other thing that I see that people are afraid of is constructive criticism. There's a difference between constructive criticism and someone who's actually hating on you. If somebody is giving you valid points like, hey, this, and this, that's constructive criticism. If somebody is just like, oh, you suck, that's hating. There's a huge difference, but I feel like people just lump it all into, oh, I have a whole bunch of haters, when in all actuality, I want to see you prosper and I want to see you grow. So these are the areas that I think, in my opinion, could help you, boost you to where it is that you're trying to go, as opposed to someone who's just like, boo, you suck.
Right,
There's a clear difference.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people just clump them all together and everything is haters. Everything is haters. And I'm like, bro, that's not how this works.
No, it is. It's like anytime you giving somebody some crucial advice on, like, you know what, I'm giving you solution. You know, that's constructive criticism. But when you
say
give
something about that, Karen, real quick, I got you on that. I agree with you on that. But if you have not gone through the same struggle and came back on it on top, it's hard for me. Do you understand that?
You want to listen to people who actually doing it.
Yeah, like you telling me my thing is wrong. Oh, did you do it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's wrong because you did it before, right? And you fixed it. Okay, but if you telling me what I'm doing is wrong, but you didn't even do it, you haven't been in my position, you don't have the same company, you haven't gone through the mess, then how are you going to tell me something's wrong?
Okay,
I listen to people that have experience.
You preaching right.
I'm sorry, experience.
Here's some good advice.
So this is going to be a little unpopular opinion. I tend to have those a lot. I feel like everything is context. I think everything is context, because ultimately I don't have to do crack to know that I don't want to do crack. I don't have to do something for me to be able. I could have seen it done by somebody else. I could have known someone else that has achieved what it is that you wanted to achieve, and I listened to what that person said, and I'm like, oh, well, this is how this person did.
That's X, a footnote, and that's a reference.
That's a reference.
But people sometimes you don't even have the footnote or the reference.
Or sometimes some people are just like, oh, it just is a thought that just popped up in their head, and that's what they're sharing with you. So sometimes it's not necessarily that they think that they know better than you because they haven't been in that position.
Some of them do, though.
It's more so that person just thinks that the information that they're giving you comes from a place of like, oh, here's another perspective of how to look at it. Here's another way of trying to do it. So that's why I say like it's context, because there's some people who do. I know some people who are in trash-ass relationships giving trash-ass relationship advice. And I know some people who are who've been single for forever, who actually give advice that is fair, honest, and what you call it. So for me,
because
again,
they're single and they probably been through the trash.
No, some people don't even do relationships. I was single for 12 years. I don't do relationships, but I give out wonderful relationship advice. Why? Because I literally.
Here's the thing. I think back to Rushell. Is that right, Rushell?
Yeah.
Okay, back to Rochelle's critique. I think that's fair. And so someone who's offering advice to you, if they're being honest and offering it like, hey girl, I don't know for sure, right? Like I said earlier, like I don't know about that. Don't devalue yourself. I am not in that kind of business model, right? But I can tell you the fundamental things are the same. We as a culture often devalue ourselves. I'm not saying you don't love yourself and all that. I didn't get all deep.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever, right? And I said, and we're not raised that way. That's a generalization. Maybe you talk differently, right? So a lot of it, you pick and choose, but you know where the person's coming from. And so I'm gonna to support what you said. I was given advice, which is probably well known, but at the time to me it was like like a real aha moment. Someone said, you know, you cannot take advice from someone you wouldn't swap lives with. And that one I had to chew on. I had to shower with that. I had to pray about it. Like I chewed on that for a while, wrote it down. I went back to it. Like, and I was kind of like, but now I try to, if I'm ever not sure if there's a gray area, then I try to consider that. Like, yeah, maybe not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm weighing this thing out and I'm kind of like, and I'm not trying to just judge your situation for no reason. I'm judging it because you offer something into my situation, right? And then I'm kind of like, yeah, probably that doesn't weigh as heavy, right? Because you don't even,
Yeah.
not because like, well, you're not married and you don't make X and you don't drive this car. No, maybe because you were just unhappy. Period. You are a miserable person. So I'm going to let whatever you said lay where it fell, right? Like, okay, thanks so much. But no,
Right.
right? Because you are not speaking life into me. Whereas you don't necessarily have to have done all these things I'm about to do or aspiring to do to weigh in, but it matters like,
The
you know,
heart.
for me, it matters what's inside. Like I said earlier about, I don't know if I said these words, but you have to protect your peace. I have to protect my peace. So when Karen mentioned like she blocked her mom, well, God bless mom, right? But anybody, you have to pick and choose the people. And so you mentioned you only have 55 minutes online, where I enjoy social media, but I promise you the people that I follow,
Right.
I can have big spoons of them because they are a blessing to me. They are entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, even the shade room, honey, is a ministry sometimes. Like if I'm having a tough day at work,
Listen.
I muted this. I muted
cry
this.
real tears because we are comedic people. Okay,
I
I be like, this is what
We
I
are
did.
hilarious.
But I'm not following. I'm not following anything that does not line up with me. So those
Yeah.
same people. So when there are people that email me or want to send text messages or forward these bizarre articles and all that, then I shut them down, right? Because I'm not my brand on my end. I'm like, girl, enough of all this. Like, do you have anything good to say? Did you wake up this morning? Did the sun shine over there? Because it's shining in Oakland. Like, what is going on? You are annoying. Enough. Like, please don't reach out
Enough.
if you have something good to say. Seriously.
Keep
And
it
so
to yourself.
I've lost a couple friends in this 28-day quarantine, and I'm okay because they're miserable.
You out
Miserable.
here, you out here mourning friendships right now. Like you like,
R.I.P. Say next to the
Get
next
out of
friendship.
Girl, get out of here. You're horrible. Well, I don't understand why people want to go out. And I'm like, well, you didn't have a life 28 days ago, so you ain't missing nothing. I live a full life. I'm ready to go outside. You
Not
are
even only that, but
you raised
people
a
like
miserable
different
little boy, and I
things.
pray for him because you're a horrible person. But the thing is, so she and her stuff ain't based in fact. So I said something at like 4 in the afternoon. You know, this winch was still going at 10. I didn't even respond, honey. She had something stuck in her craw. She could not get over it. And that is because you are horrible. And what I said was real. And I moved on with my life. Because at a point I didn't care that much, right? So now I've moved on. She couldn't get, I'm telling you, my phone was busy. I was like, really? I almost had to reach out because I was like, is she gonna be able to sleep? She is miserable. But that is very consistent with what I said. She clings to negativity, and that was negative, right? She could not get over it. She had to like go on and on and on and on. You still cursing at 10 o'clock, girl.
Right.
First off, if you got to get to the point where you start cursing, I'm sorry. Yeah, I curse a lot, but if you get me to like argue with you and then curse.
If someone curses just because, I have some friends that curse a blue streak, honey. That's just how laughing, talking for any reason, they just go in. So that's consistent, right? But if you just are mad and now you pissed off and cursing, you're doing a lot. Over. We're talking about the coronavirus, honey. She was lit. Like I was just like, first of all, I'm about business and data, right? I'm a math girl. And then she was like, she sent this inflammatory, inaccurate, and incomplete first of all, she needs to read more than the headline. Read the whole article, then come back. Then she's like, do you know that our numbers and Italy's numbers, did you know how big Italy, you ain't been nowhere. Do you know how big Italy is?
That part.
But I think
Let's just look at the population.
Not to help her, but I'm not an analytical person. I am a heart person. I am an emotional being, and I know that. And a lot of times, you just have to know who you are to help yourself and help others. So when I am interacting with one of my friends, that's probably more like you, you know, I have to let them know. I'm not saying this. Because of whatever, I'm saying this because I'm frustrated. Like, why are you sharing this information with me? You know, I'm a little frustrated. I'm scared. I don't know what's happening. I'm having high anxiety.
I have to.
I might need to deal with that.
You don't do, if your only interaction with them is that you are panicked and freaked out, or you have something negative to say, then you should turn inside and look at why that is. If she had anything good to say, anything, she has a toddler. What kind of mom do you know never sends something cute about the baby? She don't have nothing good to say.
I mean,
this conversation does.
I love this conversation.
Can I just say one thing to help one thing? Okay. I don't know how close you are with that person, right?
Not terribly.
Okay, but it's like let's
we ain't in touch.
Let's just say for argument's sake that you are close with this person. Let's just say you're close with the girl, right? Let's just say. And you're like, yo, this girl is being so annoying. I think at that point, you need to like move the coronavirus and be like, yo, what's up with you? Like, are you feeling good? Like, how's your day? Like,
but that's only if you're invested.
But there's some people who wait for that. Like, there's some people that thrive on you asking them how they doing, just so they, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll be like, and then they just drain you. Like, I'm about energy and peace, right? Where it's like, I do not want to sit here and go back and forth. Just, I ain't nobody therapist. Like, I'll be like,
right, and you're not, and that's why I think this has happened to me personally. That's why, and it was like I was getting like, Shelly, you mad emotional, so how you getting annoyed by her? But it's because I'm going through a lot, and it was draining. And me, even though I'm emotional, I'm like internal. So like I go inward. So like a lot of people didn't even know that, my uncle died. A lot of people didn't know that a lot of things happening, because sometimes I just be like I'm a hermit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I am. But a lot of people are like more out, like come to me, like seek attention wise. And she was doing that to me while I was dealing with a lot that she didn't know about. And I said to her, because I was like, I didn't want to blow up on her, because then it would be bad, right? Like we just go, oh. So I was like, listen, I'm hearing you. You have 20 minutes. And I love you. But the reason why you have 20 minutes is because I'm dealing with a lot emotionally right now. And I just can't do it. I love you, but I can't. But I know that there is a good therapist. Here's her number. I'm serious. There is things out there that can help you. And I think that you might need to seek that, because you probably need constant counsel. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can't, unfortunately, be that constant counsel with you right now, because I am going through so much. And I love you so much that I'm going to try to help you seek another avenue.
Yeah, and those people, like,
which is what you're supposed to do ultimately. Because the thing is that with mental health, that people fail to realize, everybody has their own level of issues in which that they can and can't deal with, that they will or will not deal with, that they will engage with or they won't engage with. I think the thing is like you said, knowing your own mental health and knowing like, all right, I know normally I'm like at a 10 and this person is at a 10 right now. So maybe I need to go at like an 8 or a 7 real quick and let them be at that 10, and then you can either go back and forth, or you, like you said, set those boundaries of, listen, I can only do X amount of whatever I can do. Because ultimately, when it comes to your mental health, I think that people fail to realize that other people have mental traumas also. people fail to realize that there are other people who have other things going on. And I get it when it's self. If you lack self-actualization, you can't see that other people are going through stuff. And it has nothing to do with empath. It has nothing to do with anything else. It could literally just be like your problems are so big for you to handle right now that you don't see other people having problems. You only see you have a problem. You need to figure out what's going on. And this person tends to either listen to you, but now that person has some stuff going on. So there are
you don't have something going on and you just can't do it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of resources that provide teletherapy during this time. So you can do, for anybody who's listening, you could go to Therapy for Black Girls, Therapy for Latinx,
All of them.
Therapy for Black men, Therapy for single parents, Therapy for parents. And then you can go to psychology.com, and they tend to have psychologists who provide teletherapy so that way you can actually stay home. It's encrypted. You type to them, you can Zoom call them, you can phone them on the phone. And then there's other resources. If you're in New York, call 311. They actually have a mental health line with Vibrant Health. You can use those resources. And that, like I said, unfortunately, I'm one of those people that just be knowing too much in this area. So
no, it's good.
That would be helpful. So for right now, a lot of people, they know how vocal I am. So they're sending me, like I said, I have people who work at the hospitals. So people in the hospitals are sending me pictures of the morgue, or they're sending me pictures of, videos of the way that they're being treated. And I'm over here trying to organize things behind the scenes of trying to get them PPEs and trying to get them masks, reaching out to different companies, working with different companies so that way we can coordinate. So on the back end, I'm doing all of this stuff. And that's why I only give myself 55 minutes of Instagram, because on Instagram is where people tag me the most. Right. Instagram is where people just send me everything. They send me every 5G message. They send me every cop that's police brutality, because I focus on all of those things. So since I am an advocate for my community, I tend to be sent a lot of things that have to do with my community. So for me, the way that I regulate my own mental health is I will zone out for about an hour or two, and I will watch YouTube videos, or I will write something, or that's why I'm about to finally be done with my novel. Right. This novel is, over 100,000 words. I'm currently reformatting. I just worked on 2 scripts that I sent to a couple of publications. I'm always doing something. And that's how I get my mind off of all that's going on. But I also allow myself 55 minutes. All right, let me go on Instagram. Let me go a whole bunch of pictures. Let me go comment and let me respond to people. All right, let me hop off of this. Let me go on Twitter. Let me see what's going on in the Twitterverse. Right. And I pretty much do that, but at the same time. Or me and my brother, we watch anime together. I love anime. I've been watching Japanese animation since I was a kid. So those are my escapes from the world. But I always used to be that person that everybody called whenever they had an issue, whenever they have a problem, whenever anything, because I deal with stress better. But that's not fair to me. Just because I deal with stress better doesn't mean that it's okay for you to dump stress. So echo her, setting those boundaries, you have to set those boundaries. There's certain relationships I don't mend, because ultimately, if we keep playing repeat on the same issue over and over again, I'm not going to keep doing it. Right. It's just not conducive to my mental health, and I can't engage with it anymore. Yeah. So that's why when she said, "Oh yeah, no, I knew her. Yeah, we knew her."
But this one thing for mine also, because I think it's not even that deep for her, right? If it's not that deep for you, because I know you probably have to say that, I would say that you don't have to give her back the same energy. Sometimes you might just, she yeah, girl, and Italy is, they dying. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Okay. Oh, all right. All right. Okay, now, girl.
I received what you said. I
You
received
need
what
water
you
for the
said.
fire.
Now,
Okay, you don't
Yep.
have to give her back that. You don't.
Yep.
Because after a while, it's gonna fade down.
That's why I said if they on 10, you be right down here like
The only way
It
to take out fire is through water. So
Yeah.
you can't do
Right.
fire and fire. It's just gonna be a bigger
So
flame.
the thing is, like, we're not good friends. She is family of someone I'm good friends with. So I interact with her periodically, but I love her, right? Love her family, love her little. But our only interactions are, and then there's a group chat. Our only interactions are
Don't get me started on group chat.
like the only thing she has to offer the group is something negative. Oh my gosh, you know, my mouth hurts. I'm in so much pain. I have cramps today. The baby's sick. Like, oh my gosh, so and so died. I feel so sick. Like, and then, but she's like that about anybody. Like, she just legit, that's her one note. Like, someone's like, oh, I got a headache. Oh my gosh, do you think you have a tumor? You might have a tumor. Blah blah blah. It's like, how about offer them Advil? Let's start step 1. Maybe you need a little caffeine. Do you want to have a half cup of coffee? May I get you a coffee? We don't have to jump to cancer in the brain. Like, let's not go. But I heard what you said, where I could take that off the table, whatever horrible thing she just said, and say, how you doing? Like, what's up? Right? Like, I'm happy to swap this like a toddler, take that out of their hand, put something else in their hand. And I know that's gonna go horrible too, right? Because some will be wrong with her and she just got a flat tire and, you know, whatever. And then, but I'll keep trying to do that.
Girl, my suggestion,
it's exhausting, but I don't have to interact with her often.
to be done, because some people like
Pull up the group chat, baby.
Look, I'll see you in the group chat.
No, I blew it up. After that, people were like, "Oh, guys!" everyone responded with that escalated quickly, and they sent the big explosions, and then somebody else started a new one and didn't invite her, and I was like, "Hold on, that's not where I was going." But it was just like, it's freaking enough.
But then that just tells you that if everybody didn't want to invite her into the new group chat,
family.
it's her.
It's her family too. I'm the outsider.
She's just somebody that they have to have.
Her family happily dumped her off and started a group chat. They should have excluded me. And I was like, I'm sorry, Auntie. I ain't mean to make the spot hot. I'm respectful of my elders.
I'm guilty of doing that one time in the group chat, though. I am guilty. I'm guilty of doing that one time because I was having high
things weigh on you.
And they said, somebody was like, listen, you have to warn us when you're going to send something that's triggering. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, you know what? That's right. But there has to be someone in that chat to be like, listen, you guys have to calm this down. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You know,
also, send it to somebody else. Just take me off your list of the twos when it's something horrible. Also, where do you think the rest of us live? Are we in Bosnia? Are we somewhere in the mountains of Pakistan? Did you think we didn't also have access to this same freaking CNN article? Like, are you kidding me right now? You weren't offering anything new.
Right.
And it also, go somewhere. Why don't you get out the house? Do something. And then you would know. You should say the whole country of Italy inside of California to give you some perspective. Like, girl, can you do math? Like, let's start with easy math. You know what I'm saying?
See, but you got to remember, some people, like she said, there's.
But I heard you, Rushell. I ain't gonna say all that. That's not what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just be like, so how are you doing, Mama? How are you? How's the baby?
What's going on with you?
The baby counting. In fact, put the baby on the phone. Hi, baby. It's Auntie Maya.
That's how you do it. You go,
oh, that's what I mean. No, I'm not. I heard you. I'm telling you, I promise. I don't lie. I really don't. I received what you said, and I'm going to do it. And you know what? I ain't heard from her, since that she went into the night with that last one, but I haven't responded. And the group chat is done. But I am going to reach out. I'm going to be the one. I'm going to initiate and be like, what's up, Ma? How you been? Good. And then I'm going to forward you what the flip she says.
There you go.
It's going to be like,
thing is also
I'm
I agree.
I'm a
But
screenshot it.
again,
Look at
everything
Vastia.
for me is context. Everything is always going to be context because different people, you could deal with them at different capacities because you've built up a level of I wouldn't like to say understanding, but like you've built a tolerance level for each person. And some people you need vacations from. If you need vacation from work, you need vacation from people. Like that's just so if you need time before you go reach out to shorty, take your time.
Yeah. Cool down. Cool down, because girl, through this chat, we see that it's more than you just need to cool down. The thing is, I don't think she needs to cool down. I just think that this is how she tells the story. So I receive it as like that's just fact based. I just think like shorty sound like she a lot, and as a person who just finished
she
dealing,
doesn't have any way to expel.
She doesn't know how to express herself.
Get out that energy. Because I tell people, go yell out at the mountains. Go to the mountains. Go to the woods.
Girl, we in New York. What mountains?
Girl, you could go right there to Central Park. There's areas that you could go to where nobody will find you.
You don't want to get no ticket from the damn cops now. Just write it in your journal.
Y'all can't go to the park?
Like, write it in your journal.
You can, but everybody's been like going to the park and
people
being
still
right
in the park.
Just cancel the park, girl.
No, they still in the park. They closed the park down, but they still in the park.
They still in the park.
Yeah, they gated it and they're still in there.
So densely populated. It's hard for you to go somewhere and then be 10 feet apart. So
I think that's also why I keep saying like with the data and the numbers, I'm like, nah, America, like New York we have so many people in New York that we know of. There's so many that we don't know of that are in New York.
Yeah, right.
They underground, girl.
They are. Have you seen that series? They live underground in the train station, the abandoned ones. They have TV and they have microwave. They have lights and everything.
Yep.
And
when I was younger, when I was like 15, I used to be on the scene, right? Which is like drag and you know the scene. So I used to be on the scene.
Hi, I don't know the scene.
Okay, so the scene. You have it's basically a bunch of communities of houses, right? Where it's
like Pose?
Yeah.
Like have you seen Pose from Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah, like LG.
So like on the scene, like you have way back in the day, we would find places that were abandoned, and that's where we would party till about like 7 o'clock, mind you. And the partying doesn't always include like liquor and stuff. It's literally just energy. It's literally voguing, posing, new way, run, like it's all of those things. And it's basically us just feeding off of each other's energies. But there's people that were in the community that lived certain lifestyles in those abandoned buildings or like in abandoned areas. And like we would find like the most randomest of places. And mind you, I was like 15. I shouldn't have been doing that, but you know, such is my life. My life is a very interesting one. So like we would do stuff like that, but there's literally people who that's like their world is they don't want to be a part of what goes on above ground because the shenanigans that go on above ground, they don't want to deal with it. So they got microwaves down in the sewers.
Listen,
my ex, money. How do you live? How do you make money?
They panhandle sometimes.
Yeah. You know how much money you can make panhandling?
Thousands of dollars panhandling.
You can make.
So they come up. They come above ground for
just to panhandle and stuff like that, and get some, some groceries, and then go back down.
Yep.
Oh.
And their prices be nice sometimes. Sometimes it don't be nice. Like my ex, he is New York City. He does stuff underground. Like he does construction, kind of construction, like MTA kind of stuff. The tunnel workers. And he says it's his job to tell them like, I know you've been here for 20 years and we haven't seen you, but you probably you gotta go now. and he says he hates it every time. And he's
Yeah.
like, we're a real building. Like sometimes they'll build a new pipe,
Yeah.
and they haven't been somewhere in like 40 years. And then the city, like, this spot here, we need to build a pipe there. And he'll have to go, and he's going to see people there. And he's like, shit. And he feels bad. And he's like,
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, I know you've been here for like 20 years, but you got to find a new pipe, or you got to find a new area because I got to build a pipe through here.
Yeah.
Take
The sewer people?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's really bad. Sometimes it smells, he said, but sometimes they like it's clean.
Yeah, because the thing is like a lot of they're very clean.
Why would it not smell? I expected that it did smell.
No, because the thing is that you have to remember, a lot of people who don't want to be above ground, or they don't want to interact with humans, they just don't want to interact with humans. A lot of them have a lot of OCD or like obsessive traits. So they clean a lot, or they adjust things a lot. They organize a lot because that's something that soothes them.
Yeah.
And some people, like, when you look at certain pipes and certain areas like underground, there's a lot of stations that are underneath other stations. So the station is already built. The walls are still clean. Everything is still clean, but the way that they depict it on television and the way that it is like in person are two different things. So like our train station above ground, like the real train station that like the real trains go through, they're filthy, they're disgusting. But like in certain areas,
now, though? It was on the news that you guys like.
Girl, not every train station is clean now, girl.
Girl, no. I don't know.
How many train stations we got? Girl,
I don't know. I think that was for TV, girl.
And they were like, I mean, they showed the people scrubbing. I said, in New York, really?
That was for TV.
That's for TV.
Oh, wow.
Girl, they probably was doing the same area.
My train
every
station
time
was not scrubbed. Okay. It was not.
After they showed that, I was on the train. I was like, now where? This looked like it's been here for like 5 years. Like this thing.
No.
Come on now.
They
Stop
picked the most like populated, or maybe the most like essential stations. I feel like
I don't even think that. I think they was just staged.
That whole thing was staged. I don't care what nobody tells me.
So they did it just for the cameras that one time.
Yes.
Because my stations have not been clean.
That's terrible, but it's typical.
And you know, the funny thing is that when you see that they're capable and that they just don't, and it's like, it's infuriating because you guys charge close to $3 for us to take a train or a bus to get from here to there, right? And yes, you guys get a lot of traffic, but there's certain hours that are peaked, and you guys have the data to show you, all right, this would be the perfect time to actually go clean X, Y, and Z. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel as though in America, because we're not in unison as far as cultures and so on and so forth, we have a whole bunch of people who don't necessarily know how to clean up after themselves, whereas in other countries, because they've all grown up together, they've all had like a sense of culture, in a sense, they all know how to clean, because we have a lot of people here in America that are a different skin tone that don't or do feel as though, you know, cleanliness is close to godliness.
Yeah.
You know? That's just, now, because of that, you have a whole bunch of people who are, some people who throw trash on the ground, and then you have those that pick it up. And then you have those who are like, okay, well, the people who work here are going to be the ones to pick it up. So it's like everybody kind of sort of has their own perspective of how, or their level of cleanliness for the outside world compared to how they are inside their home.
Take care of your own trash.
Yeah.
But, and then also,
trash can right there.
Trash cans. You know how many trash cans in train stations are overflowing, so people just throw it, and then that's what causes train track fires and garbage fires that continuously happen, because ultimately they're being, honestly, a lot of the people are being overworked, underpaid, and unfortunately, if they keep with the same model, it's not going to work. You guys have
That's
enough
what
money.
Workers not well paid.
I
They have
remember,
money.
well, right now during the corona, they're giving them a week work and a week off. So they have like, that's been their thing. Like one friend, he's like, this is like vacation. Like, and then he goes back. But to your point of saying like people throwing their trash, there was one time I was on a train and it was a clean train. They done cleaned it already. I'm sitting there. This guy comes with his coffee. He sits down and then he drops the coffee on the floor. Like it falls, it spills. I'm like, so I pick up my feet. Now he's just like, oh my God. He's with his friend. It pulls up to his stop, right? And he just gets up. And like I said, excuse me, come pick up your cup.
Oh,
He
he
was
didn't
like,
pick up the cup?
pick up the cup. I said, come pick. He was like, oh, and picked it up. And I was like, I ain't fitting to be here looking at trash that you literally just dropped and you just gonna get up and walk away. Like, come on. You can't pick up the coffee, but you sure can pick up that cup. Take it out, and there's a trash can right there on that platform.
People don't got no type of manners and they don't have pride in where they live, and that's really sad.
It is, and it's sometimes you do have to check them. But I worked at a psychiatric hospital for almost 5 years, so I know how to talk to different personalities. And you know, you kind of read people. Like I'm not gonna look at somebody who look like they about to snap. I'm gonna be like, let me look at you a couple of times. Give you the eye.
Right.
You see me, see you.
Right.
All right. So it just depends on how you read a person, because not everybody is out, and there's a lot of people who are in mental health. I mean, you know, locked up in the psychiatric hospitals that do get passes, and they come out and people are arguing with these people, and I'm sitting there like, yo, that person will snap and crackle and pop your, like, I'm just, but if people don't realize that, and I'm there like, yo, they'll see somebody talking and they'll be like, oh, see me? Hey, what you doing? And I'm like, gosh, you see me. Like, they'll call me for my last name, and I'm just like these, they are like, they are crazy.
And don't get me started on America and how we treat the homeless and the mental health people and people who are discharged from hospitals, because ultimately we treat them like trash, and then we wonder why they're in the streets, and then we get angry as a society when in all actuality it's our government.
Right.
Yeah, no, especially like veterans, how they are treated. I feel like they shouldn't pay anything. I think they should have free housing. They should have all types of, you know, stuff just given to them.
Especially due to the level
work.
of PTSD. First off, the level of PTSD within the Black community. Then on top of that, you have a lot of these guys that have the PTSD from growing up with being in the hood that go serve this country.
Girl.
They go for someplace else. They get another level of PTSD. Then we send them back, and then we wonder why they are the way that they are. And then we continue to kill them, thinking that that's solving a problem, when in all actuality, the thing that the problem is the way that we have our system set up in America. But again, don't get me started on our government.
Harry, you're gonna have to do another one.
Girl, I know. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be part 2.
But thank you so much, because I got a podcast and I got a lot of information to put on this podcast, girl.
Girl, I'm saying, like, this is gonna be like, this is brought to you special number 2. Here we go. This is the government. Nah. But it's just gonna be like the real of the real. So I'm gonna do definitely 2 parts of this, because I do want to keep talking, but I am sweating. This man ring light is killing me. I'm burning up.
That's okay. Yeah.
My ring light been washing me out. Every time I get too close, I'm over here looking like a ghost.
I don't have a ring light. This is not.
Everybody got a ring light?
Yeah, I was like, because my lighting is crazy. The regular lighting is like dull, so I was like, let me put the ring light so you can see me.
So on your wall there, is that paper, what's it called, wallpaper?
No, I used to draw. I used to go to college and I'm an artist.
Oh.
But I did this. I don't know if you can see upstart.
No, I can. Oh, I didn't see the piece, but I saw the love the whole time.
So when you said you're about the piece, I'm like, girl, I'm about the piece. And on this side, let me show you. I'm gonna pick up my On this side is the rest of the wall.
Oh, that's
But
so
I put like,
cute.
girl, I had nothing to do. I put sunflowers on it. Like I glued it,
Love it.
like with a
That
glue
is
gun.
so cool.
Hold on, let me take a picture of that.
So that's my like
My
affirmation
friend
wall.
was trying to do something.
You can make her big, you know, Rochelle, so you get a good picture.
Oh, I can't. Oh, okay, I'm figuring it out now.
So this is like my affirmation wall.
That is so dope, ma. Super dope.
Yes. Well, I want to say thank you, Karen, for thinking of me to come on. And this has been amazing. All
has.
three of you guys are amazing. Like
It has.
literally,
Thank you.
like dope chicks, honey. Okay.
So are you, and you're welcome.
I appreciate your takeaway. I'm going to apply that, I promise.
Yes.
Y'all are dope. I like this. This was a good
And
blend.
this is a good energy. Like
It was.
This is a
Didn't
good
nobody,
blend.
didn't nobody peddle me no makeup that I came here for. You didn't want to tie your scarf for me.
I'm
Like
just play the chat.
I need some product recommendations, but my soul feels good. I gotta say, this was beauty on the inside today.
Yes.
Good.
It's definitely poetry. I was like, I'm gonna just do it. I went to run, and I was like, I just want this to be a talk. Like it doesn't have to be that many people, a lot of people on it, as long
Yeah.
as the quality is quality over quantity. So it
Mhm.
you don't want too many people having to just talking about
Right.
nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I just was like, I'm gonna let spirit lead, and spirit led this conversation to like I think it was like 3, 4 conversations. I don't know. We
But
talked
that's
about
good.
good
And it was
conversation.
some gems. Okay, some gems that
agree.
each
I
person
agree.
said, and not articulate like gems, like not like some foolishness or whatever like that. Some real good. Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I think the thing that
helpful.
the other thing that with social media is everybody wants those like Instagrammable quotes. Like they
Right.
want that 1 or 2 liners. And
Right.
it's like, yeah, no, there has to be a conversation past that 1 or 2 liners
Liner.
because it's
You need
empty.
substance. Yeah, you
Yes,
need
indeed.
substance. And you need authentic people. Like it's all about people who know themselves that don't have to compete with everybody else because they basically living who they want to be, or they're
Right.
working towards
They're
getting to
in
the
their
person they
lane.
want to be. Exactly. Like stay in your lane, highlight different people. Like I'm a braider, I braid, but I was like Beauty King, she kills her, like her client.
I do the same for you. Yeah.
Thank you. And Vastia, like Maya, like everybody brings something different to the table. Not
To the
all my
table.
clients are gonna want certain things, and not everybody's client. So it's like, why are we competing? We can't get to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So like it's about
And anybody that, and also she'll tell you, like, if I know castings, I post castings. If somebody needs a braider for something, I'll hit you up. If
Right.
somebody needs, plus size clothing, small size clothing, a boutique for whatever reason, I said, because ultimately my thing is I've always been big on community, especially for my people. And that I will definitely always stand by my people forever and always. Because ultimately, I don't like how people are trying to make it seem like we don't have each other's back, because I've always felt like that was a lie, because there's so many women that I've known that have sat there and broke their back for each other. And yes, there's always going to be some people that don't do it, and yes, but that's in every culture. But I always felt like within our culture that was just a narrative. That's not the truth. Our people have always cared for one another to an extent. Of course, there's there's crabs in a barrel and all that stuff. Those things do play into it. But ultimately, when you hear people tell stories of revolutions, majority of revolutions have been started by us.
Right.
Majority of revolutions have been inspired by us. So for me, I've always felt like, as far as us as Black women, as far as us as women, we do come together. It's just people make it seem like you're not supposed to have differing ideas from one another. I feel like we need to also accept who we are as a whole, not just snippets of each other.
Because we're all different.
Yeah, and
We're all
that's what
different.
the beautiful thing about it. We bring different things to the table, and we show throughout this whole, conversation how many personalities, different views, and was still able to keep a harmonious conversation going. So it's like you can respect people and not agree with them at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but I gotta end this. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna stay connected.
Bring it back later.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Like later on, like in a week or so, whatever. Come on, think of something, Chef.
Okay. All right. I do wanna come up with something like really funny, because I also have I'm certified in production, like film production. But I wanted to create something. I don't know if I should talk about it right now. Like,
Don't.
Roll on it, sit on it, pray on it,
Yeah.
write it down, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Don't talk about it. Just work on it.
Okay. So
then tell us when you're ready. We'll support it.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm gonna ask one of y'all. The last time, I'm gonna ask Maya to lead us in a prayer. Lead us out in prayer.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you so much for each other. We thank you for this opportunity, this venue, this space that you inspired Karen to create for us. And we thank you for the individuals that participated today and those that are represented with their brands. May every home be blessed in every situation that was discussed, and those that are not, those secret situations, every need. Our communities have been impacted, our country, and Father, we pray for our leaders, even when we feel like they're inadequate. Please lead them to do the right things that concern us and our country and keep us safe. May we be filled with your joy. And this is a special weekend for Christians and for Jews as well. It's also Passover and it's Easter. So we appreciate you and the love and fellowship, and may we continue to find creative ways to interact and inspire and laugh at a bizarre time. And may we look back on this and have grown from this experience. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Why my cat get inspired to come over here when I prayed? Is that something? Random.
Yeah, he was like,
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
you're awesome. Thank you so much again. Have a blessed week.
Yeah.
And just look out for everything. I'm gonna be posting on Instagram.
I'm gonna follow you guys.
I'm silent this week. I'll be back tomorrow. I haven't been posting, but I'll be back tomorrow.
Well, it's Easter, and enjoy y'all Easter. So I'm gonna dress up. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just gonna be home in my Sunday
Girl, I
best.
got so
You better dress
tomorrow.
up for that
You want
count.
me to send you some links, honey?
Some links.
I'll send you some links, honey. If you dolling up, let's do it. I'm dolling up tomorrow. It's Easter.
Wait, what you mean links? You gonna send? You can't. I won't get it in time.
For tomorrow?
Yeah.
Why not?
What link?
There's something tonight, and then there's a service tomorrow. There's a brunch tomorrow. There's a cooking class tomorrow.
Oh my God. All of
Yeah,
that?
you gotta come. Why not?
Oh, okay. So
But
I'm
the
gonna.
brunch you gotta go. The brunch you gotta let's get dressed.
Yeah.
At least
I know I have an African thing at night though. I think it's 7:00 at night.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Some African thing.
Speaking of
tag you to
African,
it.
I missed your girlfriend today. The one, she was a live wire, honey. She was hysterical.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
People's names. She was
Evelyn.
a live, and it's funny that you said Meek Mill. She said that too last week. She's like, "Oh no, because I'm Meek Mill under here." That is hysterical.
Yeah. You know what, Rochelle? You kind of like y'all are similar. You and my friend Evelyn. She does M&M Beauty Wigs.
Okay.
And she was like animated as well, like
She
similar to
is
you.
the funniest human. I couldn't take her. I was like, she's like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. But she was so fun. I had my camera off for most of it. I had to turn my camera on because I needed to I was like, oh my gosh, she is so funny. But yeah, this is nice. Trapped inside and being able to hang out. I'm glad I can hang out with the East Coast on today.
Same here.
Yeah,
So
look at you over here going through time zones.
you know what I'm saying? You ain't even gotta travel, you ain't gonna get on a flight.
I know.
But I love the fact that y'all giving me good feedback on Beauty Extended. So I'm gonna continue doing this every 2 weeks. Just so it gives me a mental, like, because I gotta prepare, send out recaps and all that extra stuff. So I want to make sure that I have the right people aligned.
I was silent this week, so I couldn't post, but I will be able to do next one. I took Holy Week off of my posting.
What needed to happen, what needed to be posted, who needed to be here is here. So
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, thank you, Spirit, thank you, God, thank you, ladies. You are all so beautiful. So just look at me.
Okay. Bye.
All right. See you later, guys. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.